in September.
Is he
Do you still need that belt
He
now?
starts college in August.
Did you get me that?
He's going to be. He's going to be in
What video?
Boston College.
Of the
Good school.
No, send me the.
Everyone
send me her
says
email.
that. You know what?
I can't.
But
send
I
you the
would
videos,
never want to
too,
live
but she's
in
gonna have
Boston.
to
Now
download
that
it
part
on her
I'll tell you.
No, but everyone
I
says
don't know if she'll know how to do that.
school. Like it's almost a damn.
Well, it's just going to be a link.
Well,
I mean, the way
I don't
they.
know about that, but
Well, no, that's the way, they say, oh, wow, it's like a junior high. But who gives a shit? But I never heard of it, and so many people heard of it. I only heard of it because of him, and then after that, everyone says, oh, yeah, that's a great school.
is he Catholic?
Well,
His dad?
in theory.
In theory.
He went to Regis Jesuit,
Okay.
and now he's going to Boston Jesuit. Well, that's a Jesuit college.
Yes.
But they don't push that in college.
No.
They're all MDs working with true living stem cells harvested from your own fat or bone marrow, then strategically delivered with guided injection. Only MDs deliver the
So,
injection. More experience than
So you guys taking him out there, or is his dad, or?
well, his dad is taking over all colleges. Stephanie has nothing to do. I mean, he doesn't have to do anything. He's taking care of everything. His father.
With a needle instead of a knife.
Did she adopt him, or they're
Yeah,
just?
they adopted at 3.
303
He was 3 years old.
9201. Explore your options at a true medical regenerative clinic.
Are we up?
In Tenno Schultz. 303 963.
Is she getting sad about having to go away yet?
303 963
Or is she
9201.
good?
And on the referral list at
When my daughter, we took her to
referrallist.com.
college, I cried for about 10 minutes. We were driving out of town. And when my son went, I said, let me tell you, we had a minivan with a side door. I said, I'm telling you, I'm going to slow down, but I'm going to push all your shit out the door. Just jump, and we'll see when we have to.
I think you'll be okay.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK is the number. We are here to solve problems, answer questions, take complaints, and make your life just a little easier. All you have to do is call this hour, brought to you by Simply Floors. I love Simply Floors. A simple way to do business. I'll tell you about it in a second. What we're going to do is we're going to tell you how to save money, how to protect yourself, how to fight back, and what to do if you're in trouble. So if someone lied to you, cheated you, or ripped you off, call us for help. For many, many years, people have tried to stop this show one way or another, and it doesn't work. It's just a steamroller, and it keeps getting stronger. 40 years ago, someone said, Tom, aren't you going to get tired of talking about broken toasters? Guess what? Never got tired about talking about that. Never, ever, ever got tired of doing away with rip-offs and cheaters and liars. Live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on the iHeartRadio app, live on KHOW in Denver, and affiliates, especially like KRDO in Colorado Springs. Welcome. And all of our listeners who download. Simply Floors, Inc. That's a website. You go there, make your own appointment. You get design services as well. He also has a place at 52nd and Ward, a showroom if you want to stop by. What I love about Simply Floors is simply this. He's a one-man owner, operator, has a crew, of course, underneath him, but he decides what to charge, and he simply charges less profit. I don't know. You don't get much more simple than that. And he's part of a large buying group, so he still gets the volume buying power and passes the savings on to you. SimplyFloorsInc.com for any floor covering at savings. 20, 30, 40, often 40%. Let's talk. What's on your mind? Sarah, we got some good news. And Daphne's here. Daphne the Bulldog is here to tell us about it. Deputy Daff, what, Sarah, happened to you with UPS?
Well, I finally was able to get a check.
But tell us what
Friday.
happened. This is what's amazing to me. We can think of hardly any cases where UPS pays. This was not a broken issue, but we have most of our problems with UPS damaging things. UPS, something will be damaged, and UPS will say, well, we're not going to cover it. Why? Because it was packed in properly. How do you know it was packed in properly, I ask? And they say because it broke. So they have this perfect system why they don't have to pay out. But this was different. You shipped a diamond ring. Tell me about that. From where to where?
So my husband bought my diamond engagement ring in New York City 15 years ago. When we lived there, we lived in Denver for 10 years. One of the prongs on my engagement ring was broken, so we had to ship it to the jeweler in New York City. And when it showed up at the jeweler, it was in a different envelope, and there were socks in there. And the shipping label had been clearly ripped off and taped onto a new envelope.
That was amazing. Someone literally stole that ring and put the shipping envelope, the shipping label somewhere else. It was so blatant, so obvious. But what was your first response from UPS?
The first response, well, first of all, the jeweler called UPS, and it took them 3 days to show up to even see it. The best part was that whoever stole the ring put it in a new UPS envelope. So it had to have been a UPS employee because no one else has access to the UPS envelope.
We assume it was. Right. But we can't say that for sure. So you had a tough time. Deputy Daff, can you pick it up? Daphne, we put on it, our deputy, after you called the Tom Martino show. What happened, Daphne?
So when she called into the show, you gave this to me, and I got a hold of Kim Krebs at Media Relations for UPS.
You said they were quite nice.
Oh,
right?
Yes, very nice.
Right from the beginning.
Right from the beginning.
Okay. Was there an issue, or was it just an investigation?
I think the investigation started, and the issue was where she initiated sending the ring from, although it was UPS.
For example, who is the actual shipper?
Exactly.
Who do they pay? Because if you go to a shipping store and it's not a UPS store, you are technically not the shipper. The store is. And if the store doesn't make a claim, you can't make a claim. So remember this. If you use a third-party shipper, that third party is the shipper. I don't recommend that for that reason. Sorry to say that. I don't recommend third-party shippers for that reason. Also, with UPS insurance, if you have a UPS store packet, they can't deny it because of improper packing. That's a famous thing they do, is deny it for improper packing. Yet they take your money for the insurance, but don't tell you it's improperly packed until after it broke. So you're paying for what could be no coverage. You never know until something happens. But if you go to a UPS store, that won't happen. Now, another thing, no third-party shipping, in my opinion. I think you should ship direct. But anyway, what then happened, Daphne? You established she was the shipper, and what happened with value? They very seldom pay full value.
They rarely do, and I'm not even sure what the check is that Sarah got. Yeah, they kept it very hush until Sarah got it.
How much did you get?
I did get $10,000.
Wow, that is great.
The ring was worth $11,000. I had paid for $10,000 worth of insurance. I fought with them for 4 months because they kept telling me I didn't pay for insurance, or I didn't insure it. I just declared it.
Right.
But I had 2 different receipts. One from the shipper that said declared value, but he gave me the copy of the receipt that he gave to UPS that said insured value. So
but, you know, in my opinion, I think whether you had insurance or not, if they lost it like that, it's not like it was, let's say the UPS truck got in an accident, somebody ran into it, or it caught on fire. If you didn't have insurance, I may say tough. Or if something happened out of their control. But in this case, it seemed to me there was someone who opened that up and took it out. I would say whether you had insurance or not, they should have just owned up. But here's the good news, okay? The good news, Daphne, is they came through. And did they have any advice for us?
Yes, they actually said...
Is this the one that Suzanne gave me?
Yeah, we both have it.
And so, Sarah, I want to say first, thank you for trusting us with this case and calling us for help. It helps others. It helps others who are listening, and they think, wow, maybe we can get some help. So, Sarah, thank you for listening to the Troubleshooter Show. So what is this, Daphne? This is what they say for listeners who are considering shipping high-value items.
Yes, they say go to the UPS store for proper packaging guidance.
I agree. Now, listen, I'm not saying you have to use UPS all the time, but in my opinion, if you use UPS, you should use their packaging and their insurance if you use them. If you want to go to FedEx, that's a different story. But if you're going to use UPS, I would not use third parties. What else?
Send high-value items using time-defined service, like next day or second day. So
Time-defined.
Time-defined, sorry.
And used, used tracking numbers.
Exactly.
That's for sure. For 10 grand and it's worth 50, you don't have an insurable interest unless you can show some other kind of value. All right, it's a good time to introduce our guest, David Salisbury, attorney at law. He's here as a guest to just weigh in on everything, but his emphasis of law is estate planning, wills, trusts, probate, all of that inevitable law. We have all used him here at the Troubleshooter Network. I used him for 3 trusts. And David does block pricing. He'll say, this is what this will cost. I like that. Then you talk to him. He gives you homework to do. You send him information. He gives you a phone call. You give him a phone call. It's all included in that price to get that done. David, what do you think about the UPS thing? Whether she had insurance or not, I don't think that's the issue in this case. Do you?
No, I don't. And I was sitting here thinking,
yeah.
How did she prove how much it was worth? And if you don't have, did she have pictures of it? I mean, I guess
an estimate,
or an estimate.
An appraisal.
Of course, it went to a jeweler,
right,
so certainly
right.
the jeweler could say something. But if you're going to ship something, you're going to accept the money to ship something for me, then you need to stand up.
Exactly, exactly. Okay, David Salisbury, if you have any questions on wills, probate, estate planning, trusts, who does not need a trust? First question out of the box. I saved it from weeks ago. I thought I was going to have you on, and I figured, okay, who does not need a trust?
Well, I think what we're talking about is a revocable trust or a living trust.
Let's say, for the purposes of this show, we're always going to talk about revocable trust because the other kinds of trusts are very, very, very special. They're usually used for, institutions and stuff. Let's talk about revocable trusts. That's the kind you can start and discontinue if you want, change your mind if you want, change it around if you want. Okay, who does not need a trust?
Well, but the people who need a trust, who doesn't need a trust?
Yeah.
Someone who has assets that they're going to transfer by joint ownership, if everything they own is going to pass by beneficiary, like life insurance and retirement money.
Or a simple will
or
for
a simple will,
assets.
and they don't have... But, you don't have to have millions of dollars to have one of those trusts.
That's
because
important.
There are a lot of good reasons to have it. For example, let's say you live here, but you have an interest in a farm or you own a farm in Kansas. Well, if it's in your name when you die, you not only have to open a probate here, you're going to have to open one in Kansas. But if you've placed that property in that revocable trust, when you die, there's nothing to do because you didn't own it. The trust owned it.
Okay, so we're talking about trusts, and are trusts filed, so to speak?
Well, a lot of people do what's called a statement of authority, which doesn't file the whole document because there's no reason to.
But are they federal or state documents is what I guess I'm asking.
Oh, they're state.
They're state.
Yes.
But you're saying they don't literally have to be filed?
No, they don't have to be filed.
Just kept somewhere?
Just kept somewhere, and if you want it to be, for example, if it's going to hold real estate and you're concerned about selling it and how do you prove it's in a trust, you can do a simple statement of authority that just names the trust, what's the address, who are the trustees, and you can record that with the county in which you live.
303-713-TALK is our number. Of course, you can call 303-MARTINO around the clock. Right now, if you have ringing in the ears or humming or a high-pitched squeal almost, it's almost not there, it's kind of like a weird sensation, especially when it's quiet. You could have tinnitus, and if it's really getting to you, you can get now, and this is for a limited time to celebrate their grand opening of their new office. Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center is giving free tinnitus evaluations. This is no small thing. They search for your tinnitus and they find the type and the frequency, and you may be a candidate for Desincra, which is a permanent treatment to make it gone, gone, gone. And it's a treatment you get, you keep, and if it ever comes back in the future, they haven't come back now in all of the clinical trials, but if it comes back, you can use it again. It's a wonderful, non-invasive treatment, and that's Desincra at Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center. Of course, they also can treat you for hearing loss or both, whether you have one or the other or both. Their new location is beautiful at Clarkson and Hamden, and Dr. Patty and Dr. Lisa are now welcoming Dr. Dagmar, who joins them, and they're all pioneers in this field of practice for tinnitus and, of course, hearing loss. 303-534-0163, helpforringing.com.
This report is brought to you by the Flood Control District of the 7-county metro area.
Big delays up north, down south, and downtown. Northbound I-25, a pit stop and go from 6th Avenue. Traffic up towards Spear. Once you get to the I-70 interchange, the drive southbound I-25.
He couldn't. He had something to do.
And they're approaching
Because he has a lot of successes. I want to start
there.
Yeah.
Traffic's pretty smooth through there, but just going down for the wreck off.
You know, I got one Home Depot one. The guy never got back to me on, but I think I got him a check for like $3-4 grand. So let me email him.
Well, just that one we've already talked about.
Which one?
That one we got the money back in his car.
Right now,
Car.
63.
Yeah. But I want to blog it. I want to.
The Flood Control District of the 7-county
I
metro area.
swear to God, it almost sounds like they're saying flight control district. Every time I hear that, flight control, it's flood control.
That's udfcd.org for early.
I see you got a new setup here.
I'm just,
so you can
I'm
move and groove.
I'm trying it. They don't like what I'm trying.
Who doesn't like it?
The powers say it's a little tinny or sounds like I'm on a remote. That's why I'm trying to get the audience used to it so when I do use it, because I want to use a whiteboard. Although the whiteboard wasn't working very well.
But if I close my eyes, I don't think I would know the difference.
Yeah, I don't know how it sounds. Over the air, I hear it's a bit different. We'll see.
Adjustments using activators and other precise targeting equipment for an initial evaluation, only $50 to get a complete workup, and then the adjustments are only $50. And if you get a package of just 10 or more, you can get $35. Veterans are only $30.
So this is the real deal,
right? Like chiropractic.
What separation agreement?
583. 4506.
You don't have one?
720.
You never did one? You just separated?
45.
Holy crap.
Not only a great
And
chiropractor, but
did you just friendly, like, split assets?
Well,
family.com.
I mean, right now you're separated, not. You haven't gone. Have you gone to the courthouse?
They're not even legally separated.
No, but that's legally separated doesn't mean anything anyway. You look that up.
It doesn't. Well, actually, a legal separation is weird because it's almost like a divorce.
Yes.
Exactly like a divorce, except it's not a divorce. It's the weirdest thing in the world.
Yeah, you basically are dealing with all
if you
the
have a
issues.
separation agreement, I don't even know the difference, except that, here's the difference. If you do away with it, you don't have to be remarried. That's the difference.
For a beautiful smile,
But it really is enforceable. It does mean something if you do it legally. Right now, you're just casual. But you know, the thing is this. Technically, you're in a bad way if you ever make a lot of money right now. It's hers. And she'll make a claim. There's no way around it.
You know, when clients call me and they're saying, "Oh, things are not," I always refer. I say, "Look, go talk to a divorce attorney. Spend an hour, whatever the hourly fee is. It's worth your while." So if you wanted some names, I'd be glad to give them to you. The guy who did, yeah. Oh, that's true. You got people on the referral list. I mean, it's worth, yeah. Because we went and filed together, and we had everything figured out.
It wouldn't be contentious, right? Because everything's already split.
Pretty much.
Do you guys have any joint stuff?
That Catherine's joint, but she was supposed to give that.
What about? Oh, we should talk. But anyway, here's the deal. No matter how things, my attorney once told me, no matter how good or bad things are, they will change. Meaning, when I said, "Oh, don't worry, she's never gonna like do anything for the kids or against me seeing them," and she hasn't. But he said, "Make sure it's in writing. it doesn't matter how good or bad things are.
No, you're right.
Make sure everything's in writing.
Because at Lowe's, the more pros buy, the more
Everybody gets along till they don't get along.
That's a good saying. That is. That's a really good saying. It's like the Yogi Berra one, huh?
Oh yeah.
It's not over till
it's over. He had some great things he said. What a character.
Some of them sound kind of stupid, but really, when like say it's not over till it's over, it's a very good, saying. Because
And then the one that came up with "It's not over till the fat lady sings."
was
Or was
that
that
one
somebody
or
else?
I think that might have been somebody else. His is like I don't know what you call it, ironic.
And he was a great baseball player.
I'm Tom Martino. I'm Tom Martino here. Plumline Services, they have two specials that I love. Well, they have more than that, but two particularly. They do plumbing, heating, cooling, electric drains. Okay, if you listen to this show, you know the commercials are just as important as the content, the consumer calls, because it's all about saving money. 93 are free with drains. That means if they cannot unclog your drains, if they're slow or clogged, if they can't do it, the call's free. They'll spend as much time as it takes for $93, or it's free. Now, why would it be free? Because you need a new line, or you need a section of a line. And of course, they have their own drain division, but the call is still free, and they'll give you all of the written documentation or the video to show you. 93 are free. If you decide to have them do it, then of course, they will be one of the best prices because they have their own equipment and their own people. Remember that when it comes to drains. They have the other one, which is $149 electrical, find, fix, or free, which includes parts. So in about 85% of the time, they can fix your electrical problem with parts for $149. The only time they can't, most electrical things are cheap. The only time they can, if it has multiple circuits or it involves the panel, they can't do the whole panel. They can't do for $149. Now they can do a breaker, yes, but okay. So if it's a whole panel or multiple circuits, they'll tell you that, but it'll be free, and they'll give you a full written report. Otherwise, it's only $149. That's Plumline Services. You can't beat those deals. I love when people have the safety of knowing a price or it's free. Then you can get things looked at and you can get things fixed, okay? That's plumlineservices.com, 303-586-1086, 303-586-1086. Ivan has a question for David Salisbury. Ivan, welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
My wife and I have property, real estate in Nevada and Colorado. Both states allow the use of beneficiary deeds. Saves the hassle of going in and out of trust if you want to refinance or something. What is David's take?
And let's explain what that is. First, David, a beneficiary deed, very quickly in a sentence or two.
It is a deed where instead of what it says is that when you die, the property automatically goes to whoever you've named. It's not joint ownership.
Right.
You have no legal rights to the property while that person is living, but it avoids probate.
It's automatic.
It's automatic, and I do a lot of them. And I actually, that would be a good way if that's what your multi-state probate issue could be, and you're willing to make sure that the person who gets that property, you're fine with them getting it when you die. There's no reason why you don't want it in their hands. Then I think that's a great way to go.
And remember, beneficiaries' deeds are revocable as well.
That's right.
They don't stay in place unless you want them to. So what was that your question, Ivan? Were you asking, is that a good way to go?
Perfect answer. It would be for our children, so of course we would want them to have it.
Now, hold on. When you said for our children, just let me tell you the calls we get here. This is not a legal issue. This is more of what do you call a relationship issue. If we've seen where people have been left on a beneficiary deed, 3 or 4, but no other specifications were made in a will or any other accompanying document. Therefore, they have a tough time if a couple want to keep it, a couple want to rent it, a couple want to sell it. So, David, a beneficiary's deed may dictate ownership, but not operation, not procedure.
turn the money?
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't.
So I mean, you've been here when people said, well, the three of us got a beneficiary's deed to my mom's house, but now one of them wants to do this, one of them wants to do that, and I want to do this.
So what would happen? What would happen, Ivan, obviously, is your kids would own it together. And that's fine as long as they get along. But they're both owners, and so as Tom is saying, I think he said two.
Two?
A brother and sister who really do get along. I trust them.
Okay, that's fine. But I guess where Tom's going is, let's say you do, doesn't apply to you, but if you do, and for whatever reason they go south with each other, and now one wants to sell and the other doesn't, you end up in court. That's the only way to resolve it.
I would never do it that way. I would always designate one as the decision maker in your will. Now, I don't know actually if that can legally be done.
No, that can't, because the will has no control over that property.
Can you deed 51% to one and 49% to the other?
Well, you could, but in the absence of some written agreement that says, essentially, it's like you have a partnership. I'm the 51% owner, so what I say goes. You know, I don't think that would make a difference. The other person could still say no.
Yeah, you're right.
And you're still going to have to get that person off the deed.
But anyway, your question was answered, and you have good kids. But, man, David, when you have multiple heirs for the same property, there's got to be a way to legally make it so they don't fight, and so one person can either make a decision or it's a simple vote.
Well, you leave it. You could leave it in a trust. You could set up a limited liability company and put the property in there, and then the agreement.
You could do a beneficiary's deed to an LLC. The LLC is owned by them, and all of the procedures are spelled out there.
Right. You have an operating agreement, which is essentially a partnership agreement.
It's a contract between them.
That's good. That has the terms.
All right. 303-713-TALK. Let's talk to Tom. Tom, welcome. Tom.
Hello, Tom.
What's happening, sir?
So I got a question about debt.
Yes.
My debt's gone into collections on multiple accounts and their credit cards. I've already filed a bankruptcy less than 7 years ago.
Oh my God! And you got into debt again?
Yeah, I didn't learn my lesson. But I have
no,
now.
Man, that's weird. Okay.
It's terrible, and it's my own fault. I don't blame anybody
you didn't
else.
call to get beat up, so let's just accept it. This is the second time around. You're in terrible debt. Now what?
Yep. So I need to know: is it better to try to settle on my own with the collection companies, or is there a service that I should go through that you recommend?
I don't recommend services. Now, I will tell you this. To get out of debt, you have what I call the austere people, and you have people who are creative, and both of them can be wrong on each end. One thing is for sure. Had you not gone bankrupt, I want to say, first of all, I would have said, get a fresh start, but learn from it, and then do this, and this to rebuild credit, and all of that. And that's living in a fantasy sometimes because people don't learn a lesson. But here's the reason I say that. I have seen too many people work 7 to 10 years to pay off every debt they owned, and they pat themselves on the back and say, I really did it, I did it, and that's wonderful. But, you know, a lot of these credit card companies, the interest is incredible, the penalties are incredible, and by the time you get done paying, you really haven't helped anyone. It's not like there's a big pool of money, and if you don't pay it, someone else does. It really doesn't work that way, and you are actually tying up your money to pay the few as opposed to paying the many. And I'm serious when I say this, and this is more philosophical because it comes up a lot, that the bankruptcy code was invented not to get people who are deadbeats out of trouble. It was so they start paying the many again instead of the few. If you have 1 or 2 or 3 debtors or creditors and all of your money's going there and you don't circulate that money, it's bad for the economy. It's actually better for people to be freed and start over, of course, if they learn their lesson. That's why you literally had a jubilee in biblical times where every 7 years debts were forgiven. And the reason was it was good for the economy. Now, having said all of that, in your particular case, you really did get into trouble, and you shouldn't go through anyone, in my opinion. What you need to do is you need to work your ass off, maybe get an extra job, forget the frills right now, and you have to concentrate on the highest interest debt first, and you overpay that while paying the minimums on the other. Once that bill is paid, you go to the next highest interest and do that way. Now, some people prefer to go to the lowest balance first, and they go to the lowest balance, overpay that until it's done because they like to see progress, and then they pay minimums on others and overpay the next one and then the next. But no matter what you do, you need to start overpaying one at a time while you pay minimums on the other. And if you don't have enough money, you have to work harder. I don't know. There is no other way of putting it. But you can try to settle. But settlement talks mean nothing unless you have cash. Don't even bother trying to settle because they don't take payments for settlement. Settlements are for cash payments. Do you have any way of obtaining cash anywhere? Hold on. We'll come back to you because I'm getting waved at by Brutus, and he's a meanie. So we will figure that out. But, gosh, it's hard for me to believe that you went bankrupt, and the sting of that, you started up again. So, Tom, you really maybe even need to, to talk to someone about it, because I don't know what's going on, but we'll talk about making money as well if you have more questions. 303-713-8255. And speaking of that, Become the Banker, that's a system of savings where people establish a life insurance policy. The only purpose of the life insurance policy, the only purpose is to make it legal to fund it and growth tax-free. The government says if you have life insurance, we're going to allow you to put money in there and overfund it on purpose. They want to encourage people to have life insurance. So when you overfund it, or when you put money in it of any kind, it grows tax-free at a guaranteed 4% plus a 1% dividend, that's 5%, and it's tax-free. The idea is to use that instead of a credit card. Okay, so you want to buy something, you borrow it from your policy and then pay it back. And when you pay it back, instead of paying 14% to the credit card company, you pay 14% to yourself. And when it goes in that account, you're sheltering even more money. So you build up this giant cash account on your own that is eventually used in retirement tax-free. It's a wonderful system. To learn more, go to becomethebanker.info. Becomethebanker.info.
That's you're right. Mutual. It's for sure. Otherwise, you're throwing money away.
Yeah, you're not going to get anything. It won't be there. But you know the
mic off before you rip your headset off.
But it's actually really easy to win.
But you know the problem with the other.
Yeah, I'm getting used to it. I'm sorry.
What happens if the people you have, the creditors, get a judgment against you? Now you can say, oh, I'm going to start paying off the high. They can now garnish your wages.
You hate it. I know.
I really do.
Yeah.
You know? And you know the way you can, if you have family and you have obligations to them and you don't have enough money, what are you going to do? Are you going to move out of your house? Are you going to live in your car? Or are you going to put it on credit cards? I mean, sometimes you're back to the wall and there's no choice but to find money somewhere. Nobody's going to lend it to you. Nobody's going to...
This bullshit about...
Oh, twice? Yeah. Yeah, that's not smart. But I do understand the other, because when I first started my practice, I'd moved here, I virtually had no clients. My wife was taking care of, at the time, the kids. And sometimes I had to use it. Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and so I pretty much had to do it. I got them all paid off. And once things started to roll, it was not that hard to do it. So you had, and when you make minimum payments, it's just flush the toilet.
Absolutely.
But you have to. So I think that's probably why. And I don't know why this guy got into debt, so I'm not defending him. But I do know, you want to keep your kids in the good school you live in, the neighborhood you live in, and I don't mean having $1 million home. It can be a very modest home. So, I kind of have a little bit of a
Appreciate
personal
But
appreciation.
yours was because you started a business.
Yeah.
You know, for somebody who works for an employer, I think a lot of it ends up being
That's
medical, unless it's medical.
That's your fault because you know how much you make, you know how much is there, you know what your budget is, and if you go out and start spending. I used to have friends, and every freaking year in November, December, they'd go out and buy all these gifts for Christmas. Come January, and they weren't making enough money. Come January, they started fighting with each other. It was horrible because there was so much pressure. And I always said, instead of buying each kid 5 gifts, buy them a couple gifts. You know, are they?
But that's what I wanted to ask you.
Are they going to be damaged?
Help me with the
by
demo.
only getting, you know?
Who uses it?
We used to buy gifts and make the kids give one of them.
We have 2 problems.
Did you really?
We have to educate
Kind of the
people about the industry.
Well,
or he says, which one of
I'm
these?
thinking, though,
I'd give this
something I
away?
do sometimes that
we tease, we go, you like this?
I think we should concentrate on the scissor. You don't even tell them how it works. Just say, we have a
I
guaranteed
do have
system.
a different approach.
no, I agree with that 100%.
Why bother? You know?
Once I got them paid
But
off.
when I meet with these
You
people,
raised
I have the
money?
resistance I'm getting,
Yes.
except from the smart ones.
Yeah, I mean, we lived
They
in a
don't
nice
like the
neighborhood
idea
and all
of people
that.
coming to them after
So we
they
never
lose their insurance
struggled. I
company.
never
I'd say,
worried
look,
about.
Oh, no,
you know,
hold on. I'm
if we were
talking,
gonna be in
for
the
this
house, I was gonna
conversation,
wear
for
nice
consumers
clothes
first.
I'm talking, no,
and
purely
all
RL.
that. Yeah, but
Purely
parents
RL.
bought American cars. They didn't go out and buy
I'm not sure the
expensive
payoffs
cars.
would be
And
there for
actually,
that.
they
Well,
could have bought
let me
them.
worry about that part.
It just wasn't who.
I got to fine tune this, but I'm not worried about that
You
part.
know?
What
If
I'm
we needed
saying is,
something,
what's
we
the
would
demo?
take the trip.
Okay.
We didn't do any of that.
Referral
And
list
you know
would be
what?
35 plus for
It
sure.
wasn't like I
For sure.
You don't think 25
No,
plus?
no, hell
That's
no.
what I.
So
I
35.
Yeah, we'll get some, but mostly 35 plus. Mostly,
Out there, I
yes.
think people
And I
have
would even
different
venture to say
mentality.
45.
Why?
What you drive.
Because
what you
ownership
have
is
on,
key.
you could be
And
next
ownership
to
for
bankruptcy,
homes
but
starts
you
at
drive
around
a nice
35
car,
for
it's
serious
cheap
ones.
as
Because the younger ones
You know,
don't
one of
have
the
enough to
things
care
I
if they
like
don't
when I
care
moved
enough
out
about
here
it.
They don't have enough money.
You kind
So
of come to
35
the
plus,
office
and I would say
shit kickers on
if
and
you
blue
get
jeans,
females
you know,
to do
and
it,
find out
they'll
there were
influence the males.
They didn't wear it out here.
35 plus,
And I always-
but the
I
demo,
admire that.
No, not
I
our
do too. I
demo.
do too.
Who do we want to
No,
target?
why do you
Okay.
want
I want to
people
get 35 plus.
Well, that's true.
35 to 60 plus?
Oh, no. Well, you know what? It used to be 54, but look at me. Look at Stephanie. I mean, we are vibrant people. I mean,
So does 60.
You can
Well,
buy
no,
all the
because I
things
think
in
it
the
breaks
world
right there,
and be
doesn't
very
it?
well, wherever it breaks, but we
David, I
want.
wish more people
See,
would
here's the
take
thing,
that.
Mark.
It's things
With
with
attitude. You don't pay for the extra demo anyway. They don't charge much anyway. So you just want.
You target women.
No, I'd like to target women.
I mean, more than men.
Yeah, because women, although men are more apt to download apps and hit the app for results, but I would say,
a Democrat.
yeah.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Art of Granite will save you money. How? Art of Granite will, first of all, give you prices on the phone. How many people do you know that do that? Art of Granite, yeah, they don't care. I mean, they do care, but they don't care that you get the price because they know they have great prices. That's how confident he is. But when you shop around, you better shop apples for apples, and I'll tell you why. He is a direct stone importer, so you get all of your material, your stone or your solid surface, like granite or marble or quartz, you get it for wholesale prices, and then you only pay for fabrication and installation. You don't even pay for the tear out and haul away. You don't even pay for the bathroom when you have the kitchen done. With cabinets, it's not wholesale. It's a small markup from the manufacturer. But all in all, if you want just counters and cabinets and the whole deal, he'll give you the price and you'll love it. Open 6 days a week, closed on Sunday, and what can I say? Artofgranite.net, 303-386-5919. Artofgranite.net, and call and get your price at 386-5919. All right. David Salisbury is with us, attorney at law, talking about wills and probate and all of that, and we'll get to that. I want to take people who have been waiting a while, and should I take Suzanne? You have that marked. I think I'll take Angel because this is up David's bailiwick. Okay, Angel, what's happening?
This is Bob.
Bob. Okay, I'll take Bob. What the hell? Go ahead, Bob.
Thanks, Mark.
Tom.
I call, or Tom, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mark's
I
here.
called about insurance, but I want to say about your guest.
Yes.
One of the finest things a person can do for their family is to get those affairs in order before they die.
You're right. You're right.
You know, they're going to be grieving enough, unless they don't like you.
You're right.
You know.
Now you're talking about everything, or specifically debt, or what?
Well, I think you're talking about estate planning, assets, that sort of thing.
Yes.
Get that done.
Right.
And he who gives when he lives knows where it goes.
Oh, I love that. He who gives when he lives knows where it goes, and knows where he's going.
Where?
Here's another thing I wanted to say. There is also a misunderstanding, and I'll let you continue as well, but there's a misunderstanding that debt is inherited. Now, we have to talk about that because debt is not inherited. Some of these people who advertise the timeshare thing to get out of timeshare say, don't strap your kids with this maintenance payment. No one is going to strap you with debt. Unless you signed on that debt, you're not going to be responsible. But does the estate have to pay bills, and who comes after those bills? Let's talk about that, David. I've never heard of credit cards coming after an estate. Have you?
Oh, yeah,
okay.
I have.
Well, you're the attorney, so
yes,
let's talk about it.
I've heard that.
Let's talk about it.
It's happened a number of times.
So what? Will Visa literally, put a lien on the estate?
Well, they'll come forward and either turn it over to a collection agency, but yeah, before you ever make any distributions from an estate, you got to find out what the debts are.
Well, how do you do that?
Well, hopefully the person that who's died has left a roadmap. Otherwise, you know what it is? It's forensic accounting.
Do you have to advertise?
Yes. When you open a probate, one of the first things you do is publish in the newspaper what's called a notice to creditors, and that notice to creditors has to be published 3 times consecutive weeks. And from the first date of publication, your creditors basically have 4 months to come forward and make a claim. And if they don't, in most cases, that claim's gone.
Now that newspapers are going away, where do you publish it?
Well, you know what?
Does it say in the law?
Well, yes, it does.
What
and
does
it says
say?
It's got to be in. It should be in your county with a newspaper that's published there.
Yeah, that's
and you know
ridiculous.
what I do? Oh, you know what I do? There's Colorado Community newspapers.
Thrifty nickel.
And they're in almost every county.
We should
because
do a
if you do it Denver Post or Denver Business Journal, it's a fortune.
Is there guys from like Visa, MasterCard, or
Yes.
these banks sitting around just reading the
Yeah,
obituary?
they have somebody who they're looking for the notice to creditors.
Yeah.
Got it.
Not the
Okay, so anyway, they can come, and here's the deal. All assets have to be, when they're liquidated, bills have to be paid. But can they make you liquidate an asset? Let's say kids were left.
just like any other debt. And here's
But if
the
they
thing.
don't, then they don't. Once you take it, they don't. A beneficiary's deed, for example, would Visa be able with
No.
100? No.
Joint ownership, beneficiary, it doesn't pass through your estate.
But if it does
passes
pass through your
outside.
estate, are you telling me that a contractor that sold 10 grand could demand that you sell the house and pay?
Well, if it's a debt of the
that's what I'm
estate,
asking, yes.
then the answer is yeah. They can
Okay.
get the assets they need. I also want to just mention, I tell personal representatives, if you distribute all that money and there's a debt, they're coming after you.
Right. Because you did something wrong, not
Right.
because you signed on the debt.
Yeah.
This is very important. So people, remember, debts do go to the estate to the extent they want to collect.
But not the beneficiaries.
Right. As long as you do everything right, you can distribute the assets. Now, Bob, since you brought all this up, what else?
Well, I have an insurance question. We live in Golden. We had a hailstorm a year ago. We've gotten a good bit of the repairs to the house done, the roof, the gutters.
Yeah.
We still have other repairs to do. We have not been able to get them completed because of, getting contractors and help to do it. The insurance company, Farmers, God forbid, is telling us, in about 8 days, our right to the recovery of the depreciation expires.
All right, hold on, and we'll come back and talk about that because that's happening to a lot of people right now. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Saving money? Cam Solar. They were on the show the other day. Cam Solar, a great solar company, a solid solar company, been in business more than 10 years and right now have 3,000 systems working. And they have moved into Colorado and they are doing great systems. I recommend you call Cam Solar and they'll get in touch with you within 20 minutes with a complete breakdown of efficiency, performance over the next 20 years, and how much it'll all cost. But here's the good news. Never cash out of pocket with the tax incentives, the rebates from utility companies, and their special financing. You don't have money out of your pocket, and you save on electric right from day one. 720-449-2935. But better yet, go to this website, fill out the information, and they'll be back in touch with you within 20 minutes with a full evaluation. GoCamSolar.com/troubleshooter. Special page is for my listeners. GoCamSolar.com. That's their website. Then put a /troubleshooter to get your evaluation.
This report is brought to you by
Turn your mic off before you take your headset off.
Metro Area.
On the north end of town.
Otherwise, I'm going to take your headset away.
84th off.
Whoa, I'll hide it.
Still residual ways, but it is improving on that
How you doing, Mark? I'm doing good, David. How about you, man?
I'm doing okay.
I'm trying to get a stupid garage built in my house, and everything's a nightmare.
You know what I'm saying? We should have a good old barn race.
No, I want steel. I looked at pole barns. I want steel.
Well, yeah, but a pole barn with steel. They call those pole barns. I mean, they're sophisticated pole barns.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. They still sell good old-fashioned wooden. The Amish come over and put them up.
No, but pole barn. Now, that would be the poles with the stringers and then the wood.
Oh, you can buy them. The kits are everywhere.
But the stringers, almost everything. No, this is.
What are you going to put in? What do you need to put in?
RV.
RV.
Yeah, but where I want to put it, my setback is ridiculous.
Did you buy an RV?
Yeah. The setback is absurd, man. I got to be 50 feet back from the county property, which puts me on a fucking hill like this, which means grading it. I got Scott coming out. I can't even imagine it. I don't even like thinking about it. It's going to be so ridiculous.
303 Pro Auto. That's 303 Pro Auto. We're online at.
I want to see who's calling me from this number all the time.
Fuller injury law after your car accident. We handle everything. So
I get those two times.
Reached out to Miles, and I can help. Set up a free case evaluation.
This is the same.
Oh, I get 303-520.
This link here.
It's almost, he's texted Miles. Like Miles sent me the screenshot.
How did he get the number?
I said, son, those kinds of jobs are scamish. How did this person find you? He says, that's what I was thinking, but he went to CV my freshman year. He was a senior, and we're not friends on Facebook or anything, and I just got the message.
Yeah.
It's just some of those are a little scamish, you know what I mean?
Little scamish, or almost all scamish.
Yeah, like too good to be true, set your own hours, make...
I've got some advice for him. Don't go on Facebook.
No. Just tell him it's a scam.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
My sister writes like everything she does every day. You know, I've been waiting for her to put something in there. I've been waiting for her to put something in there like, you know, I had a really good battle with Millie this morning. You know?
I put events on there like Miles Turn, 18 or...
They also do.
It's almost like a church.
I noticed they spoof numbers.
Some people, they put
that are
everything
close
they
to what
could
you
and
have.
shit out, you know?
They spoof numbers with familiar exchanges and things. Yeah, see, it's just. It's
So is that the first? Is it those three numbers of your cell phone? See, mine is 303-520.
Yeah, and mine is 303.
And I just every time
they
I
do the
block
same
them,
time.
big deal.
And they do your number.
Yeah.
They do your number and then alter it a little. So it's.
We're America's largest mortgage lender.
I just block them. But how many combinations are there that you can do? Probably almost unlimited.
NMLS number 30. Rocket Mortgage results may vary.
What did I just do?
They just did our draft.
I am so glad I learned what these guys did. I can't even tell you how wonderful it is.
Oh, yeah.
I love the
Now,
product.
Total Traffic is not the only product, but it's by far the biggest.
Oh my God,
They're in a lot of markets.
they're every market. They're beautiful. They sell to every station. Well, any station that
No, I
wants
know.
traffic.
Right.
I just had
And
no
traffic
idea.
costs the station nothing. They just clear the spot.
Yeah, they basically do a trade. Yeah, they give them, hey, you don't have to buy a helicopter, right?
To be a guard soldier is to stand ready to serve at all times for family, for community, and
Unless
for
it's
country.
strong.
Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves.
I like him a lot, too. He's one of these guys I passed in the hall, and we chatted about 10 times over a 4-year period.
Sponsored by the
Had no idea what he did, and now I'm so glad that I like him.
Mark, I owe you a big thanks
Well, let me
for
tell you,
getting the
you and my wife,
for doing
Dan,
getting the
Tom.
Hiram choked.
Getting who?
Hiram.
Oh, Hiram.
He
Who was your rep? First name only. Never mind. I know.
Bruce.
Yeah. Good. He's
Thank
on
you
it.
so much.
Like Blue Bonnet.
I'm Tom Martino, your troublemaker. Actually, Troubleshooter Tom Martino, your consumer advocate fighting for you. You know who else fights for you? Joe Lazzara, if you're accused of a crime. Now, some of those crimes, people may say you deserve it. And you know what? If you drank and drove, you do deserve it. And some people are willing to take the consequences and go to classes, whatever. But even then, you need a defense attorney to get you through the system. It's not something to take lightly. You go in with him and he takes care of it for you and with you. You need an attorney. Now, of course, if your rights were violated or you're falsely accused, you especially need an attorney to help you. Joe Lazzara, criminal defense attorney. And remember, don't drink and drive with Uber and Lyft. You don't need to. Designated drivers. I'll save the preaching for your Sunday preacher. Hey, Joe Lazzara, 303-429-6200. He's also on my referral list at referrallist.com. Remember the name, Joe Lazzara, referrallist.com. Okay, so, Bob, did you have any additional questions for our attorney today, David Salisbury, sir? I believe it's contractual. It may be statutory. I don't know, but I do know that when I do commercials for insurance companies, they tell me by contract, if you don't put in a claim in a year, you lose the ability. And then once you put in the claim, it's all 1 year. So it's 1 year to put in the claim, but even if you put in the claim, you have to close it out to get your balance, your replacement cost coverage. They'll give you an initial check many times, and then they give you actual cash value, and then the difference, which is the replacement cost, is what you get at the end. So when you do a roof, they give you a check, you do the roof, and then you get your balance. Some pay you up front, but it's all dictated by contract, Bob. So in your case, you may only have 1 year. And actually, they're very nice to tell you because many insurance companies don't warn you. Do you want to get Compass or not? I think so. To just clarify it for sure or not. What do you think? Did I explain that enough?
Okay. It's a pretty widespread hailstorm.
Okay, listen. Let's call that. Now I want to call Compass because if you're working on it, then I don't know how they can rush you on that. Hold on. That's a very good point. So hold on a second. We'll get him, all right? 303-713-TALK. He's saying it's not like he's delaying on purpose. Bob, may I ask, did you get your initial payment?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we did.
But it hasn't been closed out. I understand. It hasn't been closed out yet. Okay. We'll come back to you. Katie, welcome. What's going on, Katie?
Hi.
What's happening?
I just kind of want to blast somebody through you.
Okay.
I had Chris Price. Formerly it was called CP Landscaping LLC up here in Greeley. He was contracted to do some concrete work for us. We paid him $4,600.
Did you say it's CP Landscaping as in Charlie Papa?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. But now he has a new company out called Price with lawn and landscaping. His name is Chris Price. He lives in Greeley. But I just want to let everyone know, do not go to him. He took $4,600.
I want to hear why.
He took how much from you?
$4,600.
Did he do any work at all?
Zero work was done.
Oh, hold on. We have some alternatives or some help for you. Hang on. If that's the truth, we may be able to help you with the Contractors Trust Act and more on the Troubleshooter Show.
Who had to? Yeah.
Today is the day you break the stranglehold
you know,
of addiction. You and your family
took
can't
a small
lose
claims
it
for
an air conditioning
check.
check. Disease. If you are someone you know is
it's
abusing
clean and
alcohol,
check for your
prescription
whole
drugs,
system.
hard illegal drugs, or if it's a mental health issue, anxiety, depression, or trauma related to substance abuse,
They have to mention
know
it.
you're not
And
alone.
the
There's
$39
help. Call the Wally House Related Check. Establish a special number to address your concerns.
Once you record it, anybody who looks in the records, like if you try to get a home loan, you know, if it's a personal judgment kind of thing.
Was he nervous?
Twice less. You know what? It wasn't because they taxied back. The instructor got out. He came back to the hangar and said, "Okay, take it." So he taxied out, did his run up, did 3 landings, taxied back.
Touch and goes?
Yes, and he did a great job.
So
you know,
again,
Do they tell the tower like it's Centennial because it's so big?
Sometimes they do. So anyway, some of the photos. Let's see if we have. This was when he got back.
Really?
yeah.
His
The
instructor.
judgment remains, but you can't.
It's kind of cute. He had a good time.
Exactly. But
Was
Mom nervous?
Oh God, she was so good, but you know her. So look, so there's
only
the
way
plane.
to
Isn't that a
get rid
cute
of
little
that is to
plane?
pay the people, even though
And
you
then,
don't have to pay
if
it.
you're a title
And
How
then
long did it take you to teach him?
they're not.
Well,
they're not going to
I
title. If you
just
have
had
a
him sitting with
judgment,
me and then let him
it's on
take
the
the
record.
controls.
Wow.
This instructor said, and I don't know, I've been flying with him since he was in 8th grade, but really,
So just
that's not
give
fair to
me
him because
judgment.
I didn't really instruct him. But this instructor said when he got it, he was pretty damn good. So this, he only has about 12 hours of dual, and he saw it.
So him and the instructor.
But anyway, 12, officially 12 hours of dual.
And I recorded.
How long did that
Yeah, I
take?
don't have to pay.
Right.
But that judgment's still
It took
there
him
for
about,
20 years.
he
So,
started lessons.
Can
Now
if I
remember,
want, so we can.
we're talking about
Can I
getting
pull it
everyone
off and-
scheduled
Yeah.
together, so it's been 3 months.
Only
But
that
you
person-
can
You can file
like,
something
if,
the satisfaction of
it's
judgment.
hard, you know, because you got to get their schedules together. That's the main problem. Whenever he does it, he does at least 2 hours. I told
If
him
someone
1
gets
hour
a
lesson
lien
is worth it.
on
He
you,
does at least 2.
So is that when you solo these days? Is after 12?
You're not paying
Well,
back.
it's the competency. So it might be 8.
Okay.
Typically, it's going to be over 10.
Certain
In the old days, they used to rush. I soloed at 8 hours, but really.
That's whenever the instructors go. So then after you solo, how much longer has he got?
Now, with solo, you need 20 hours of instruction. So he's got about 12 hours of instruction. So now he's going over some advanced cross-country navigation for 8 miles. So, but during that time, you're also building solo time, touch and goes, and you need 20 hours of solo. But of the 20 hours, 5 of them have to be cross-country. So you have to fly at least 50 miles away.
You're going to need that judgment.
Land.
And land and come back. And one of them has to be at 2 different airports and back.
So 100 miles and back.
Right. Well, no, only one leg has.
Because if
One
you
leg
can't
has
pay the
to be.
IRS,
Okay,
you've
whatever.
got to get them to send you something showing the lien.
No, they have to be.
It's removed.
The guy who called in about getting out of debt, who had already been through a
That way
bankruptcy,
somebody will look at the
Melinda,
record.
the income organizer, reached out and was like, maybe I can help them. My husband wrote
Okay,
the call.
good.
Let's get her on and work it in. I've been putting that off.
He's not there, and then we'll
Okay,
get her
but
on.
she did not hear the call.
But
She
I'm going to
did.
talk to her.
She needs to understand she's doing this one for free.
Okay.
That's the deal.
Yeah.
So, but hold on, I still want to go back. So then they got to do the 2 legs, 20 hours of solo
Solo.
time.
So he'll go. He's going to go there this week, and he'll just pick the plane and he'll solo, and he'll do some touch and goes, and then if he wants, he can get signed off to go to Front Range and back. But while you're a student, you're flying under. You got to get permission.
Could you do like Watkins Front Range and back, and that's your cross country?
If they're 50 miles, yes.
Okay.
And so once he does at least 10 hours of 5 hours of cross country, 15 hours of just solo, now you've got 20 and 20. That's a total of 40. Then you schedule a check ride, which is a driver's test. And the guy goes out with you. He'll talk to you, and then he'll. Oh, you need a written too. The written.
got my fucking license. My dad's best friend was his
It's so much fun. It's just my teacher.
This dude could take Mike Casey. I swear to God, he could do it every time. He'd put the keys on a little Cessna 172 on the dash. He would put it in a stall. He would float the keys so perfectly. He'd hold open his pocket here, and every single time he could drop those keys into his pocket.
By the way, that is
a controlled stall.
But that's incredible.
Mike Casey. That's all the guy did, though. I mean, he flew military, then he flew his entire life. He did nothing but
You know what?
teach
You have
flying.
to be 17 years old. Oh no, that's for other than air.
So
wait, no, 17 for a private pilot. I thought it was 16. It's now 17.
That's probably good though. In
Or
New Jersey, you got to be
16.
17 to drive.
But 16 for a balloon or a glider, which is weird because the glider is harder. Be able to, I think it is.
Have you ever flown one?
Mm-hmm.
I see them down at the Air Force Academy a lot.
I have.
They tow those things around. And
I have a gyro glider, a single multi-jet. I just went out and got ratings when I was younger. But yeah, I wouldn't be safe in a glider right now. You have to find lift.
they teach those kids in the Air Force Academy down there. I think that's the first thing they fly is
You
gliders.
become such a good pilot when you can do that. Holy shit. But a regular plane, people think if you learn how to glide, you can stay up longer. But a regular plane is not made to glide like those. So it still make you better.
Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. This show brought to you by Buy and Build, the wholesale building supply place. In fact, cheaper than wholesale. We do that. We look for places that are unique and different, and people who are unique and different, and we try to bring you the very best for saving you money. We also solve problems and answer questions and take complaints. We've often been known to get our attorneys together to file class action lawsuits or other lawsuits, or we get accountants together to help you, maybe through an audit. We get directly involved in your life. No other media does it. That's why we call it media with a purpose. That's right. I recover more than most personal injury law firms in cash, merchandise, exchanges, refunds, and services. And we don't charge a dime to people. We just ask that you use referralist.com, where you will find Buy and Build, 4800 Washington Street. What do I say about it? A big, ugly warehouse like the big, ugly owner. And it's just a beautiful place to go for savings. Seriously, you will not believe the savings for plumbing fixtures, electrical fixtures, floor coverings like tile, hardwoods, laminates, cabinets. Oh, they have a shaker line of cabinets. I put in my garage one time because they were 10 times, not 10%, 10 times cheaper than the big box stores. Anyway, I could go on. I'm not going to. Buy and Build, 4800 Washington Street. Look them up, buyandbuild.net. Let's talk. Okay, so this guy has an insurance claim open. He's not dilly-dallying. He filed the claim within a 1-year period, and now the contractors are finishing up, and they said his insurance called him, which, by the way, I'm surprised they even warned him. They said, hey, you only have 8 days left, or you're not going to get your replacement cost, the extra check. In the beginning, they give you an initial check many times. Now, some companies will give you the whole thing up front. Some weird ones just do that. I had them do that to me one time. Some of them just give you what's called ACV, actual cash value, and then at the end give you the replacement cost, which is the supplemental check. Others do it in different ways. It's all a matter of contract. What I want to ask Brian Burns at Compass Insurance Group about is this. Brian, is it the law or is it contractual, as far as you know, when it comes to the 1 year to file a claim? Everyone says, hey, if you haven't filed your claim, you only have 1 year. So if I have hail damage, do I have only 1 year to file the claim?
You're correct in saying it's contractual. So
Okay.
it is based off the contract. So, but most carriers, to be honest with you, it is a 12-month period of time is what they generally like to see. I will tell you that I've dealt with it more than one occasion where there's some circumstances that are keeping it from being done, and I have always been successful in talking with the insurance company and getting them to extend. the whole point behind it makes sense. You don't want to delay having all the work done and then another storm come and do further damage on a claim that has already been opened. So there's obviously a reasonable expectation you're going to get the work done as quickly as you can.
All right, so he has a case, and I'll bring him up right now, Bob, and they told him he has 8 days to get it done. I think that's unreasonable. Now, Bob, your guys won't be done in 8 days. Is that right?
That's correct, Tom.
So, Brian, does it have to be done before he collects his other check, or can they give him it in advance?
Well, do you have the bill from the contractor for the completed value?
We've got the roof and gutters done, and of course we'll submit that within this.
Do you have, though, even though the work's not done, do you have a final bill of any kind?
Not a final bill. We have, price estimates, and we've asked if we had a signed contract, but they said no, that work needs to be done and paid for by the end of that 1 year period from when we filed the claim.
Well, and that's right if it says so in their contract.
Yeah, but I have to tell you, Tom, it is. You're exactly right if it's in the contract, but it's crazy to me if there's a true circumstance of, hey, I can't get the work done. I'm trying. They're not doing it. I have always been successful in working with my insurance companies to help extend that.
But it's farmers. What about farmers? They're not really a good company.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would be happy to try and call them. We don't have any pull with them, obviously, but we could try.
Now, have you talked to your agent, Bob?
We have, and the agent's pretty well just, thrown up the hands. It's my domestic partner who is doing this. She's been with him for 28 years. I've tried to get her
now
to call
you
Compass.
know she's overpaying.
Yeah, but I can't, convince her, so... You know how the story is.
Well, I know.
Maybe this will do it.
No, man, I can't believe she wouldn't at least get an estimate from someone else if she's been with him that long. But,
one would think.
Well, you know what? Now you can tell her, look, see what this gets you? They have no loyalty. The worst companies, are the worst companies for a reason. However, I will say that the 1 year 1 year contractual limit is in most policies, so it's not limited to the big 5 bad ones. I would say that you should let Brian take a stab at just calling and seeing what he can do, because if nothing else, he can get at least an idea as to what they mean or what they're doing. Suzanne, can you put them together? I really appreciate Compass Insurance Group. If you haven't done the insurance checkup, it costs you nothing. You give them your Dex page or tell them what you're paying for what, and they take a stab at it. No, they can't always save you money, but most of the time, about 85% of the time, they save people tons of money. And they're at 303-996-9000. I love those guys. Now, the big 5 bad ones: Farmers, State Farm, Allstate, American Family, and Fred Loya. These guys, these companies get the most complaints. They suck. Now, you might say, oh, they get the most complaints because they insure the most. They're big. Yeah, they're big, but no, they suck. First of all, in most cases, you have captive agents. They can't sell other policies. They're captive. They sell only for that. So how could they save you money? They can't. I met a woman one time who had State Farm, and the guy, I said to him, if you can't shop the market, how do you know she has the best value and the best insurance? He says, I can't. You're right. He wasn't, So, if I were you, if you have these companies, especially if you've had them more than 3 years, you're probably paying too much. Now, I say probably. There have been some rare cases, Mark, where people have gone for an insurance checkup, and they could not save money over the big ones.
True.
Once in a while. And I don't know, do you recall what those had in common? That
one of them I do
recall. They had some claims, right?
Well, maybe not just the claims. The one that sticks out was the guy that was also an Uber driver. And I think Uber might have a deal with State Farm or one of these guys for that extra Uber insurance.
But anyway, Farmers, State Farm, Allstate, American Family, and Fred Loya. It's that simple. They're bad. They suck. I don't know how else to put it. Now listen, we got David Salisbury here today to talk about your estate and estate planning and wills if you have any questions. Suzanne, do we have our income specialist from the referral
I'm
list?
calling her right now.
Okay, I'm going to take another guy, and then...
So something real curious, Tom. Katie with that contractor, line 3, is a victim of the same guy.
Wait, Levi, we didn't forget about Katie. Katie is calling about this guy called Price. Now, did you use this Price guy, this Chris Price? Levi?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
And it's called
We,
Priceless, right? Priceless?
Yeah, it's Priceless Lawn and Landscaping.
Katie, that's it, right, Katie?
Yes, yeah, that's it.
Okay, how much did you give him, Levi?
We gave him $1,200 as half a deposit for about 90 foot of fence.
Did you get any work done?
He tore down about 2 fence panels, but nothing substantial. No posts were set.
And when was that done?
That was done at the beginning of April.
And you haven't seen from after that, right? In a month and a half, you haven't seen him after that?
No, sir. There's been a little bit of phone conversation back and forth, and he had made a bunch of promises that he has yet to keep.
And Katie, how much did you put down?
We did $4,600.
Now, often with landscapers, we get they have such a short window to do, and everyone wants their job done first, and they start taking money down. Sometimes we have flat-out rip-offs. Sometimes we have just guys that are overwhelmed, and they mean well, and then other times we have incompetence. So I don't know which it is in this case. How did you find him, Katie?
He was a referral from local, actually the guy who did our fencing. He referred him to us, and we had this done, contracted with Chris Price in August, and did take him to court in October.
You did?
We did, and we went to court in January, and he was a no-show, so he does have a negative judgment on our end. While we were at court, there was another couple there who was taking him to court for, I think, around $3,000.
We got to bring this guy to the Sleaze Brigade. So Chris Price.
We need to, so bad.
Does his phone still work? Do either of you have any
I do. I have full contact with him. I have phone numbers. Levi, I believe your wife contacted me, and so we shared contact information.
Oh, really? How did you guys find out about each other?
Through a Facebook page up in Greeley.
Oh, man. See what social media does? Okay, so I'll
try to give him a call.
Good. Deputy Dan's going to try to give him a call. If you guys hold on, here's what we're going to do. I know why Katie said, Tom, I just want to get the word out because she already has her judgment. Katie, you should try to execute that judgment the best you can. We have ideas on how you can do that through our attorneys. Some of the steps are interrogatories. Have you done those?
So no, when we went to judge, got the judgment against him, we are now in the process of doing wage garnishment because he doesn't own any property for us to put a lien on. So we are at the point of...
Now, you know, with wage garnishment, when he's an independent contractor, you literally can serve the people that owe him money. A lot of times, people have done that in the past. They have served the homeowner, and instead of paying the guy, they pay you. It gets messy, though. And I really recommend you get an attorney, a collection attorney, if you can. If you get a good collection attorney, they can often put their fees on top of the balance and be paid because judgments do allow, don't they, David Salisbury? Don't judgments usually allow for some collection costs, reasonable collection fees?
Yes.
Or interest, too. So hold on, both of you. Suzanne, let's get those names and numbers down, and then anyone else who is a victim of Chris Price. And, Suzanne, like you often do, try to get a photo. We can get this guy on the Sleaze Brigade, and then Deputy Dan is going to try to call him and see where we go with that. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. And Tom is back, the one who went bankrupt, still has debt problems. We may have another idea for him that can work. And I did not forget about you, Jen and John, Vivint Security Systems. Now, Vivint is not a company we love, not at all. In fact, I would say they suck too, and we'll tell you why coming up. Stem cell therapy is something that many people are opting for their arthritic conditions, their pain, their back, their shoulders. You know what? ACL tears have been cured, repaired by stem cell therapy. But here's the problem. There are a lot of charlatans out there. There are a lot of chiropractors mostly out there who are misleading the public. They are not doing living stem cell therapy. They are doing amniotic fluid that they have shipped in with no living stem cells. If you want true living stem cells, under current laws right now, the way that they're allowed to manipulate cells, you cannot ship stem cells. It is flat out illegal. So the only way to get them is to harvest them at the time of your visit, and that's what Centeno Schultz does. They do real living stem cell therapy. They have been for years and years, the first in the country, Centeno Schultz, and they're soon going to be opening, they're in Broomfield, and of course they take everyone from around the country even, and they're going to be opening a Lone Tree office as well. Centeno Schultz, 303-963-9201. 303-963-9201.
That company sells knives door to door. It's the biggest fucking ripoff ever.
Who is it?
Someone targeting our kid to get a job. Oh, God. There's so many of them.
Oh, and they tell you how much you're going to.
And it's somebody he knew from high school that graduated a year ago. It's a fucking multi-level marketing fucking bullshit. And they do freshmen in college and seniors from high school. It's their target market.
Outside of I-76 approaching 270. That's due to some maintenance off to the shoulder there. The weather forecast. Chance of afternoon thunderstorms today with a high near 71. Thunderstorms continue overnight with a low of 47. Right now, a few clouds and 65. With the traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner. 6:30, K-How.
The flood control district of the 7-county metro area.
I kind of knew that. I'm glad he reaches out to us about jobs. You know what I mean? So he doesn't get suckered into something.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, you sit in a basement for a week learning how to sell knives. So his old buddy from high school is trying to okie doke.
Recruit him. They probably get paid more on recruitment than they do on the actual.
Well, they do, of course. They're selling Chinese knives door to door.
Yeah. You were able to find that out.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying little Chinese kids, just like the iPhone, sweat and die, and they stab themselves making these knives. In rare cases, the Chinese kids building the iPhones will stab themselves with the Ginsu knife while jumping off the iPhone platform. So they can cut through the net.
Do you think they know how to use, do you think people would know how to spell Centeno? First of all,
no.
It's S's.
I still fucking struggle with it.
You know what?
It's I thought it was Centennial.
The name of their company has to be their website. Why? Why? So what? Okay, that chafes my ass. I'm going to talk.
Watch this.
Get a landing page.
Watch this. So if you go Centeno, spelled wrong, Centeno.
It doesn't even go.
Schultz, S-H-U-L-T-S.
Does it do it?
It finds them. Even if you Google it and spell it wrong, it finds them instantly.
What about real stem cell?
Look how did you see how I fucking spelled that? I couldn't have spelled it wrong.
You know the government's going after
Schultz with an S.
Are they really though?
That's what they're saying.
Well, ask away, buddy. That's what I'm
Well, I'll ask
I'm here to guide you.
Okay, what does that AP stand for in deductible? 500, this is my folks' cap. So WH is wind hail, I'm pretty sure.
You know, AP would be everything else, I would assume. What's the claim?
No, we're going to, my sister wants to, and she's...
Wants to change it?
Well, we got to change it because they got like 10,000, 100,000 on the thing, 10,000 on the garage. We got to change it up. But we're going to choose the deductible higher so we can get it cheaper.
Where are they at? Minnesota?
Minnesota.
I want you to try somebody. I do.
Hey, I tried calling. The mailbox was full on that Chris Price.
Well, you got to tell me so we can follow up.
I mean, I'll keep on.
These guys are getting ready to go.
Which guys?
I gotta find them. Hold on. Damn it.
Equal opportunity lender regulated by DORA and MLS 1.6756. For terms and conditions, call.
I was so impressed. I actually.
Mark, I want to buy website domains.
Oh, did you see the 3 I got?
Well, listen.
Which one did you like the best?
I don't know. But I want to listen. I want to buy them and let them use them while they're with us.
No, I know yours. I see what you're saying.
Wouldn't that be a good one? I mean, there is realstemcell.com. That'd be a good one.
Would you look at those three I sent you, though, because I got to set one up.
I'm going to look right now.
Thank you.
I got to sign in.
Let's make it go quicker. I got to figure out what the name of this company is. I want to say...
Is it for stock? Is that what you're saying?
Did I say that? Yeah, good.
I was looking, I wanted you to test this for me.
Do you know I have Peter Boyle?
No, but I mean, this is perfect.
I have Peter Boyle.com, and he never took it. I said, I'll give it to you.
Is he still around?
Yes. StraightRoofing.com.
Do we own that?
Yeah.
Look at those new ones I did. I need to know which one.
How do I find the new ones?
I think they send you an email when I got them yesterday.
Yeah,
but
but try to get to it.
I never find it. I didn't find it.
Oh wait, here I'll tell them to you. Hold on, I'll tell you exactly how.
You're right. For being illegal,
I'll do it next break.
I agree. That's a good point.
Rocky's Auto, 63rd and Federal. If you're looking for a used car, truck, SUV, or van, you don't want to hassle, you just want to look, and you want to buy, and you want to drive around in a golf cart and take your sweet time. Maybe you have a trade, maybe you don't. You know what? They don't alter prices based on the kind of shoes you have or whether you have a trade or not. The price is the price is the price. You can find it online at RockiesAutos.com. That's Rockies with R-O-C-K-Y-S. Not like the team. It's R-O-C-K-Y-S. RockiesAutos.com. The prices are clearly marked. They're open Monday through Saturday. Now, Monday through Friday till 7, 9 till 7, and then 6 on Saturday. 303-426-4646. 40 lenders to choose from, a vast selection, and just a bunch of good people. That's what you get. Higher trade-in values because they sell most of the trades right there on the lot. So, Rocky's Autos for no-nonsense car buying and selling. They love it. They love what they do. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Let's talk to Jen now. Now, Jen and John, we have looked into this company before. In fact, Deputy Dan, why do you always shake your head and get red when we talk about Vivint?
Well, they had my folks and stuff, and they did. Oh yeah, they're just terrible. And
what do you not like about Vivint?
They extended their contract with just a phone call, and they didn't mean to do it, and it never worked. The security system never worked.
All right, so let's talk now to our friends Jen and John. You have a problem with the system, right? In general, you don't like the way it works. Is that right?
That's right.
It does not work, period, or what?
It works intermittently. It has a lot of connection issues.
How did you get this place? How did you get this service to begin with?
So I was actually at Best Buy, and they had their representatives there, and I was unfortunate to fall into their little scam here on us. Because,
okay, and how much was it? Tell me what you obligated yourself to.
$1,900.
For how long?
There was no contract. I'm actually month to month because I'm a Best Buy customer.
All right. Well, that's kind of good, isn't it? But the $1,900, did it buy you equipment? The $1,900 bucks?
Yes.
What?
Yes,
Well, okay. It may not be terrible if you have equipment and you can get out. What kind of equipment?
4 security cameras, window sensors.
Oh, wait. Okay.
Sky panel, garage door opener.
All right. The equipment itself you have. Do you have a control panel?
Yes.
All right. Now, what if you wanted to go to another company and just drop them? Could you do that?
Yes, I could drop the. According to Vivint, I'm in a month-to-month contract, so I could drop them and go with somebody else.
Okay. So, what is the issue? Let's talk about the issues one at a time. What's the first issue?
The big and main issue is our garage door opener got overheated by the Vivint system, and it actually blew up, causing an explosion. And,
wait a minute.
Yep.
What do you mean it blew up? How does a security system interface with a garage door in a way that would make it blow up?
So there's a controller from the Vivint system that connects to our garage door opener called Linear. And that controller
interfaces with the Vivint system. And so from our phone, we can tell the Vivint system to open or close our garage door, and it will do that.
Then how did it blow up?
So what happened was the garage door kept going up and down without us even doing anything.
When did it do it? At night, when you were away? When?
During the day. My wife just happened to be home on a conference call when this happened.
Okay.
So when it kept going up and down, eventually it just overheated the system.
But why an explosion?
Because when the Vivint system kept sending signals to the garage door opener, and when that opener kept going up and down, and the Vivint system kept telling it to go up and down, it just eventually overheated it.
But not an explosion like poof.
There was a loud noise.
Okay.
There was a loud noise.
Okay, so will Vivint take responsibility?
They've owned up to it.
Did they pay for it?
They are willing to pay for the garage door opener.
Good.
But they're not willing to go beyond much of that.
Well, why would you want to go beyond that?
Well, we had to do a lot of there's a lot more to it. So when the technicians were showing up to the house, or when we kept scheduling appointments, they weren't showing up.
No. Here's what I want to know first.
Yep.
What damages did you have beyond the opener?
The opener?
I want to know why you want more than $500 for this deal, or however much you want. How much do you want?
I want to be able to get my entire system refunded from them.
Okay.
I don't feel safe with it in my house.
All right, I understand. In other words, you just hate them. You just hate them. All right.
Absolutely.
Have you ever thought of taking them to small claims court for breach of contract? We have had many people do that. I've done that. Mark has done that, where you're pissed off at a company, and it's the easiest access you can do, and you don't need to hire an attorney. Now, you could use all of your examples. Mark, you've done this before. He could use a bunch of examples of breach, right? Of, hey, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. You could, only you know what you've experienced. But if it was me, I would go to small claims court. I would say, you bastards, you breached your contract. That's what I would do. But have you ever thought of that and just sue for the whole 1,900 or 2,000 or whatever? Have you ever thought of doing that?
Have I ever thought about doing that? Yeah, absolutely.
You know, because you're talking about what? How 1,900?
1,900 plus the cost of the garage door system.
And so that's 1,900 plus what? How much did that damage?
500.
Yeah. I mean, did you flat out ask for a refund? What did they say?
They are only giving me an option of one or the other.
Okay, here is the option, okay? Here are the options. Along with the $500 repair of the garage door and refund the garage door controller, we can offer a year free service. What does service cost?
For me, $19.99 a month.
Just $20 a month. Okay.
You should call our security people. They're great.
Yeah. Now, but yeah, I'm wondering if they can use the equipment. You know, the equipment, it's not going to be probably bad. I mean, they might be able to convert it just over to Central, to Security Central, and just let them take it over. Okay, cancellation of your Vivint account, removal of the system, and a full refund of equipment and monitoring fees. Well, wait a minute. What's wrong with that one?
Well, it's an option. It's option 1 or option 2.
Wait a minute. They're going to cancel the entire account and return all your money.
Yeah, they're going to. It's saying an option of return. When you look at it, it's saying cancellation of the account, removal of the system. It's not saying anything about the repair of the garage door.
No, it's not. But so basically, however, you did have the system for a while. How long?
6 months.
Okay. I don't know. What I'm saying is it may not make you feel good. It may not make you 100% whole. But if you think about it, if I got my 1,900 back, plus I got 6 months of monitoring, I'm just saying I may say, what the hell, let the garage door go. Or if they don't make you sign a total release, they probably will. But if they don't,
they will. Yep.
Yeah, okay. So why won't they do option 1, option 2 plus $500?
I have no...
Did you ask them? Just say, listen, this is fine. Do option 2 plus $500. Did you ask them that?
I have not asked them yet because I've been trying to figure out what else I can do.
Well, okay, I don't know what you mean, what else. You know, you don't have, in my opinion, some big giant case here. I mean, I'm just saying, as a consumer, if I got all my money back and I got the repair, what else would there be? Would you please tell me? I mean, I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I'm truly asking, if you got all of your money refunded and they fixed the garage door, what else would you want?
Here's my thing is with that garage door opener exploding the way it did, if we weren't home, my fear is that would happen to somebody else, and they would cause more damage.
I'm asking you again. People always say it coulda, shoulda, woulda. It coulda.
Yep.
I'm asking you, it didn't, and I'm saying if they gave you $500 plus a refund, what else? I'm not challenging. I'm asking.
If they gave me both of those, I would be totally satisfied with that.
Yes.
But right now, the way they're saying it is I'm only getting one or the other.
That's right, and that's unreasonable. I think you should get both. Dan, let's call and ask him to do both. Can you call him? Listen, this guy's been through hell. If they're offering to refund everything, refund it. But they should fix the garage door if they broke it, for God's sakes, right? It stands to reason. 303-713-8255. Brent Ivinson, Ideal Home Loans. Let's talk about custom terms. You know, some people have a 30-year loan they've been paying on for 7 years. They may only want to refinance at 23 years. Some may want 25 years. Some may want 18 years. I don't know. And you have a custom term. Brent?
That's right, we do. You know, we can go any length of time between 10 years and all the way up to 29. 30 years obviously already exists, but it really is helping a lot of people do a couple of things. One, you can take advantage of lower monthly payments and lower interest rates, but still pay your house off as scheduled originally. So you can finally take all the progress you've made on your current loan with you onto your next home loan.
And that is done through Ideal Home Loans, the only custom term program I know about where you can name your term. They also have the interest rate guarantee. That's right. So if your rates go down, you don't get stung. You can call them for details. 303-867-7000. 867-7000. IdealHomeLoans.com.
Turn off the audio.
This is Denver's Talk Station, 630 KHOW, an iHeart radio station. With Ross Kaminsky mornings, Michael Brown afternoons, KHOW, Denver. You may not believe it.
You are lying to me right now.
But it's actually really easy to win.
It was pretty easy.
$1,000.
That is crazy.
It's the 16K a day giveaway. Listen every hour at 5 past the hour. Weekdays, 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. on 630 KHOW. Brought to you by Wind River Spas, making hot tubs for 40 years since 1978. A local manufacturer made in Colorado for Colorado. Realize the dream of relaxation in your new backyard oasis. Find what you're missing. WindRiverSpas.com.
Let's talk about John Fuller. He is an attorney at law on my referral list at referralist.com, and he is a personal injury attorney. If you've been hurt in an automobile accident or in any other way and you're wondering, is this what I have to look forward to? Missing work, pain, missing vacations, not being able to do stuff around the house, and who pays? Well, if it's someone else's fault, they should pay. That's the way the system works. Now, you may think, I don't want to sue. I don't want to go through all of that. You know, John Fuller is someone you should talk to. It's free of charge. It's complimentary. If he takes the case, it's only payable if he wins, and it's a small percentage of what he collects. If someone is irresponsible, if someone is negligent, they should pay. That's what it's all about. Why should you be the one to suffer? Don't feel guilty. What you need, the services of someone competent like John Fuller, who knows all the areas of law involved. 303-597-4500. 597-4500 on my referral list at referralist.com.
Attention all men. Have Viagra and Cialis let you down? Think your best days are behind you? Think again. If you suffer from any type of erectile dysfunction, regardless of your age or medical history, the doctors at Evolution Medical Group can help you now. There's no pain, no needles, no surgery, and no medication. Just the newest available proven treatment from Europe using acoustic energy waves. Their FDA-cleared medical device regenerates blood vessels and erectile tissue with short in-office sessions. Safe and effective ED treatment. No pills, no needles, no side effects. Call now for full information. Call 303-420-8955. That's 303-420...
You don't get results.
Content.
No, see, their CPA firms, their life insurance companies, who say they'll draft legal documents.
Right, I just couldn't.
And they get away with it. That's
Easy.
the unauthorized.
I don't have one open, but
Okay, well, that's okay.
it's easy. That's the. In fact, I can always do it too. But I thought if you do it, let me just see something really quickly.
I think this is extremely fair.
Let me see the fairness.
Now, if you go here to the post. Oh, not post. Okay, so now you're in here, right?
Option
Good. Now, if you go over here
For
to
conversation.
Okay.
Library. Now watch.
Take the money and
Now
run.
add.
Okay.
Then you just select the file.
Exactly.
But if
Now,
I've been
before you
there,
do it,
or
there's
the
a lot of
mailman had
space.
been
Just
walking
make it
by,
a good
or
file.
someone was walking their dog
sometimes
off leash,
it's wide
and he
shot.
was behind the
There's
leash, and
really-
he had
Because it could have happened.
Could have happened.
Yeah, but they should still pay for the repair of the garage door.
Get a
But
picture
then
of the
it's
rent,
3 6
exactly.
months.
I basically
But here's what's important. Okay?
You mean on option
You
one?
put
On
photos
option
in
two.
there. It's important that the
Not to
photos
mention the stress I've been
are
under,
designated.
wondering what
Oh,
could have
yeah,
happened.
For
I know,
example.
I know.
We're calling it stolen.
Yeah, but his garage is still fucked up.
Okay, so tell me this,
I should call
if
it,
they were home, why didn't
it's
she go and
stolen.
unplug the
So
garage?
I
didn't-
didn't say
I ate
stolen,
sales.
right?
I wasn't even
And
listening.
then
What the
on
fuck
the
happened?
photo, stolen.
Why
from
did it
the
blow
dash.
up?
Because it was
just was
the
going
ones
up
that
and
going
down
up
and
and down, up and down.
Constantly.
Whatever it is.
Okay,
Whatever
we're
it
out
is,
to-
the slug.
And
The alarm
and
system
the-
caused it?
Okay.
And the overheat.
You're going to be really.
So, but she was home.
Until
Well, was it, even if she wasn't home? who cares?
actually you get to.
Well, I'm saying she could have went and unplugged it with it
This
going
is
up and
gonna
down.
be
She could have just
you
went
and
up
me.
off
We're
like
gonna
the
keep
garage
this
door.
alive. I mean, once we launch.
Yeah, I've
So
just been
she has
bouncing
some
back and
couple
forth
bills
to it,
there.
so I have.
But still, I mean, if it screwed up their garage,
I think we did.
they
The
should pay
motor.
for, they should
Yeah,
pay for that.
It's got a lot of good content.
But they're offering all the
I
money
keep these alive.
back.
I
from the
just have to
system.
keep personal stuff off.
I
here like that.
understand, but I would
And-
still,
And
I'd
people
sue
are
them for the
interested.
$500
Yeah, but I'm
repair.
gonna have more
Well, I
stuff.
see what you're
Right.
saying. Then
Like this kind of
they
stuff.
could keep them in the
That's good
contract.
stuff. And then I'm going to
I don't
go
know.
through.
I
and then on the
honestly would go
personal
after
stuff.
both.
They don't want the system.
So
But if you go
I'm
after
going to go
both
and edit my
parts,
account.
they're not going
And
to
then
give them
so this will be
anything.
cool.
If
Then-
you're in litigation,
then,
we're
you know,
not
I'm
giving
going to
you any
teach how to
money.
change these. And then
You
how
can
to
have
go into
one or the
these.
other.
I thought I told you one.
Yeah,
Or
but-
just go over it again.
And how did you get?
Are you allowed to
my,
cancel that account?
How did you grab my?
Did they sign like a
URL?
2-year
No,
agreement?
no, they paid the money for the system.
Remember how you had
And
gone?
now
How much was it?
Oh,
$1,900.
and
So
I
they're
just
gonna get
did that on
$1,900
mission.
back. Plus, they got
I'll show you.
6 months of it.
You know what I do?
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. What are the telltale signs? How do I know if it's getting worse? How do I talk to them? Does insurance cover it? How much does it cost? How many different programs are there? What's available in the metro area? Are there any free programs? Is there financing? Tell me about any drugs that help to get off of drugs. Are there any other treatments? Yoga? I mean, it really, I swear to you, any question you have, anything to do with addiction, call this number. They're loving, caring, no obligation either, and it's totally confidential. 720-893-5559. 720-893-5559. All right. So let's talk. By the way, when I talked about become the banker and doing a life insurance and overfunding it, David Salisbury brought something up. If you're ever going to do that program, make sure it's a mutual insurance company when you buy. And why is that, David?
Mutual insurance companies pay dividends because in essence,
also,
you're almost like
you
an
become
owner.
an owner, right?
You're like an owner with
other
stock
life
companies.
The other policies just buy stocks and stuff.
There's no real cash value that you could use.
Exactly. Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to make that clarification for anyone who's listening. Mike has a home insurance question. Oh, wait, Mike. Hold on one sec, because Ben has a question for David. He's been on a little. He's been holding a little longer. Ben, go ahead. What's going on?
Hey, Thomas.
Yes.
I got just a quick question for you. Did you ever get my voicemail about teasing you about Suzanne and Mark?
Yes, I did.
You know what? You are a super guy to take that.
I did. I got that message, and thank you very much. We laughed about it. And so what is on your mind today?
Well, the question is for David. We're in our 70s, and we think we have, our affairs in order. We have a will made out for my son and daughter that if we pass, it's 50-50. We put them on a quick claim deed.
Wait a minute. Wait, this is very important. Is that quit claim deed in your possession, or did you file it?
It was filed and in my possession.
It's a very bad idea.
Really?
Yeah. Do you know why?
Tell me.
When you quit claim something, they own it right from that date.
They own it with you.
Yeah.
Unless you, did you quit claim the whole thing to them?
I believe we did. I'd have to go back.
All right, listen, when you quit claim something, you transfer ownership. But unfortunately, they don't inherit your basis. They get the basis of today. Excuse me. They do inherit your basis. I'm sorry,
yes.
Just the opposite. They do not get the basis of today. The object, usually when you deed property people or give people property, you want them to have a higher basis because when they sell it, they will have less profit. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, so less profit means less taxes. But when you quit claimed it to them, they inherited your basis. And here's the good news about a quit claim. I think he can undo it, right?
Yeah, I mean, if the kids will sign it.
What I'm saying is, just
if
quit
the kids
claim
will
it back.
Sign it. But Tom, you're talking about the tax implications.
But I think, hold on, I think that's screwed up too, because if they quit claim it back to him, he now has.
He just gets back his basis.
You're right. And then he can do a beneficiary's deed for them. And then that is what you really want. David, go ahead.
But you know what? Here's the practical issue. So now they own the house. What happens if one of them gets a judgment against them? What happens if one of them gets a lien? How about if someone goes after them?
No, not now. Not right.
And so now you may end up, with all good intentions, losing your house.
No, that's why you have to undo that. I mean, Ben, I don't know why you did a quit claim.
Oh, people do that.
Because you want to try to avoid probate, but it's... Listen, people, go see an attorney when it comes to estate things. Don't do what people tell. People say, oh, you better quit claim that to your kids right away so it doesn't get caught up in probate. They give you bad advice because they don't know better. Go see an attorney who will sit down with you. Do you know there may be some times when a quit claim deed may work? Very few, but there might be times that a quit claim deed works. Your basis may have been much lower, much higher, and they want to inherit your basis because you overpaid for the house maybe, and then you had a dip in the economy. It doesn't. But right now, Ben, what did you acquire your house for?
I bought the home for $375, and it's been appraised at right now $490.
Okay, so it didn't kill them, but you want them to have the lower basis. Okay, the higher basis. You want them to have the higher basis. You don't want them to have your basis. So you understand that. You want them to have what at the day of death. You want them usually 9 times out of 10. It's better that they have the basis at the time of death. So when they sell it, they have fewer taxes to pay.
Well, that was the other question I had too, Tom. At our age, we've been living in this home. We bought it brand new in 2005.
Yes.
In our 70s, our property taxes were cut down several thousand.
Yes.
So let's just say, for sake of argument, my wife and I got killed tomorrow in a wreck, whatever. Would they have to go back to Arapahoe County and say that you have to now charging us the regular tax amount because we're not living there for 10 years?
Well, did you get special rates because of the senior program?
Right.
Okay. I don't know. The answer is I don't know what happens. I don't know if you're prematurely out of there. Do you have to live there a certain number of years?
10 years.
And you haven't been there 10 years yet, right?
Oh yes, we moved in 2005.
So what are you saying? You already qualified for the lower taxes, but if someone else owns it, technically you shouldn't be getting the lower taxes since you've quit claimed it to them. How long ago did you do it? Did you say?
Tom, I want to say about 2 years ago.
Well, technically, you should have stopped paying the lower taxes 2 years ago when you did that. Ben, you got to undo what you did. Hold on, because we're running overtime. You have to undo what you did. Fix It 24/7. Remember the name? Right now, there is a special for your air conditioning system, but they can only do 10 right now, $39 to get your air conditioning system completely gone through, cleaned, checked, and adjusted, all of it. Now, if there are any major repairs, of course, they'll let you know, but most of the time, not. Their clean and check will be like a refurbishing. Fix It 24/7. Call them. Only 10 of you can get it, and I promise you, you'll never get this level of work anywhere for this price. It is an unbelievable price. They take apart to the extent they can. They clean the condenser, clean the coils, adjust the pressures, check everything out, and give you a no-breakdown guarantee. FixMyHome.com. Go get their number there, or just call 720-526-3939 for the next 10 callers. FixMyHome.com.
I misspoke.
What?
The difference between a stock company and mutual is the stock company doesn't pay dividends.
Right.
You still have cash value.
No, I know.
And I think I said,
Okay, but
I figure Daphne would be the one calling on that one.
That's great, if she wants to give it.
I think she has an angel there.
Oh, she does?
I think so. Shut up.
Hey, that guy might be totally screwed.
Are you calling on Vivint? Oh, you're not.
And that's fine, because she's going along. That on that quit claim deed, now, if they quit claimed it, they no longer owned it for 10 years.
That's great.
No, you're right.
Ooh.
Now they can't get it back again.
That's what I would say. I think they're totally screwed.
No, you're right, man.
That's,
On the Vivint
wow.
and they recorded
Good point.
it. The bad thing, they recorded it.
I know if they had it in their hands,
They're going to get
it never happened.
They're going to get a tax.
Plus, they've made a gift, and it could be subject to gift tax. They gave something to them that's worth $370,000.
There's no gift tax. It has to be over 5.5.
It'll just be
Yeah, but it's, for that year, they're supposed to file it.
Yeah, but there's no tax on it.
No, but for that year, they're still supposed to file it.
They were supposed to
If it's
file
over 300, they are?
You file it so they can keep track. Anything over 14,
And
you
then
file.
it subtracts from your 5.5.
Right, but it doesn't.
now 11.
It's just a filing system in the
Purely
sky.
math.
There's no
No,
penalty.
I understand where
There's no penalty.
And so someone with 20 million doesn't give away 10 million over whatever period.
But it's now 11 million.
Is it?
The exemption is $11 million,
God,
which means
I'm just under that.
if you're worth 22 and you're married and you set it up right, there won't be a tax on your death and there won't be a tax on her death.
Federally.
Well, unless you have over 11
We don't
million.
have an estate tax here.
Or 22
Minnesota,
million.
though.
Oh.
We're talking Minnesota. No, we're not. No, we're not talking. No, but it's like, can this Ben get out of that and stuff? He's in a bad
Ben is in a bad place.
place.
Yeah, but when
Poor Ben.
if people that have over that, it still doesn't matter. They're
No,
still
no,
not
it's not
paying
that.
No, we're not talking about that.
We're not talking about that.
Right?
He has to undo
No,
the
it's
quit
really
claim, Mark.
yours.
We're talking about the basis
claim.
now for his kids. He wants to do a beneficiary's deed. He did a quit claim. He did it all
No,
wrong.
I'm going back to this 11 million
yeah.
exemption. If my point is, if you had $1 billion, it still doesn't matter because they put it in a trust. I mean, they never gift it.
They should.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they could have done that.
You're right. Really rich people get around it anyway.
That's my whole point. It doesn't fucking matter.
So on this one here, if it's recording everything, who told them to do this? The quit claim deed.
Probably the kid.
But because the worst thing about it is, you're right. At that point, they should have said, well, if my kids own it, I'm not going to get this tax.
Well, but they may be looking to get them ready for Medicaid, so they're giving away their assets.
Now, if they did that,
you're right.
If they did that, it's actually smart.
Right. If they're doing
That
that.
might be exactly
But
why.
they
So
better.
let's examine
Because he
it.
said
We
they
gotta
were in
get
the
to good
70s.
advice.
Yeah.
They said he was in his 70s.
Right, if they're doing it like that. But they got 2 years of taxes of, I don't know, how big a deduction do you get with that?
I think it's almost 50%.
Is it really?
Yeah, I think
Ooh,
so.
I think it's that
and where
much.
they're at, but that could be easily $1,500 a year.
No, he fucked himself. But you know what I would do? If they undo it and never say anything, do you think they'll ever catch
But it's recorded.
I'm saying the taxing people may
Oh,
never find it, may
never
never
gonna
say
find it.
anything. I don't know. What the hell do you say? That's what I would do. I just fucking just undo it.
Is that legal advice?
Mm-hmm.
Are you charging them for this?
Would you write up the document?
It's a Sergeant Schultz moment. I see nothing, I hear nothing.
Oh, I gotta get rid of these fucking appliances.
What appliances, Mark?
Oh, we redid our appliances, and I got these old ones sitting in our fucking cul-de-sac.
Oh.
You just want to get rid of you.
You know, there are people that come and get them free. I think.
Yeah,
No, they're not gonna come get these.
Absolute Craigslist.
Mark, were they still working?
Yeah, but not anymore. I trashed them. They're not taking these, I assure you. Maybe for the steel, but it's not worth it.
Craigslist free. Put it on there.
Not these.
Is that bad?
Well, no, I picked them up with my tractor.
Well, you know what? Like a lot of people in the country do, you got a ravine, just chuck them down a ravine.
Well,
have you ever lived in that?
My neighbor's
There's
got
always an old car.
Kentucky? In Kentucky, they said every other ravine.
In the holler.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Some people call me a troublemaker. Just don't call me late for dinner. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Remember, we are here to help you. Now listen, we have to take this step by step. Ben, I just want to ask you one thing.
Sure.
Did you deed this house maybe because someday you thought you may need some government assistance in the future for nursing or extended care, and therefore you wanted to have a 5-year look-back period that was pure?
No, Tom.
Okay. If that's not the reason, that is the only good reason that I think, in my opinion, to do a quitclaim deed to your kids is if you want to someday go into a nursing home and have it supplemented. Now, I personally don't like that idea. I think, in my personal opinion, it's cheating. I don't like when people try to spend all their money and give it away so they can get government assistance. My personal feeling is if you have the money, you should not screw the system. You should use your own money and then rely on help when you really need it. But let's get back to your case. Ben, if at all possible, David Salisbury would do a free initial consultation with you on all of your stuff, and he will tell you exactly what you need to do.
Okay, and I'd be willing to do that,
Now,
Tom.
we want you to go see him, or here's the deal.
Okay.
Most likely, we were talking during the break, he's going to tell, most likely, now again, you'll have to have a meeting with him.
Sure.
He's probably going to have you undo the quitclaim deed if your kids will sign the house back to you guys. And then you'll do a beneficiary's deed, which will leave the house to your kids upon your death. And upon your death, they will get the basis of that day, which means that they will have probably less taxes to pay if everything stays the same. And then what else did you do that may be good or bad? What did you do? You deeded the house. What else did you do?
Well, like I said, we filled out our will that if we both passed, everything we owned would be split between the two kids.
Okay.
And they're in their 40s, and they're wonderful. One's a sheriff, and one's an RN.
Good.
And I don't see any problem with them,
Okay, getting along. That's fine. That's between you and them. And then what else did you do? Is that it?
That's really it.
Okay. That should be easy to fix. Now, somebody emailed and asked how much would it cost to do a beneficiary's deed if someone simply needed a beneficiary's deed with you doing all the work?
I charge $250.
That is so cheap. That is great.
But, I wanted to say, ask Ben, you did your wills. Did you put something in there so that if one of your children predeceases you and they have children, your grandchildren, they get the share their parent would have gotten, if that's something you want to do?
That's not automatic.
No. You've got to put it in the will, because otherwise, if you've got two beneficiaries and it doesn't say that, and one's dead,
right?
The one who's still living
could get everything.
Gets everything.
Oh. See, Ben, you need to go see David Salisbury. Here's the number. Do you do free initial consultations for others?
Yes.
Okay. Here's his number. Keep it. And then call 720-493-3911. 720-493-3911. David Salisbury is also at referrallist.com. We have another hour of jam-packed information to go. Ideal Home Loan.
They passed that head tax.
What's that, Mark?
Oh, Washington.
So what's that mean? What does it mean?
Half.
Tell me what it means.
It used to be $550
Tell me what it means, guys.
Like
it means
if you make over $20 million in Washington or Seattle, right?
No, $20 million is only the.
No, if the company makes over
$20 million gross revenue.
Yeah.
Then what?
They got to pay $500 per person.
$275.
You know what? I would have.
It was $550.
I would happily do that.
I would fucking leave so fast. Amazon in Seattle's best there will probably pull the fuck out.
Microsoft is there too, although they're not
Wait a
actually
minute.
in Seattle.
Is it only Seattle that has to pay it?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Washington passed a national law targeting
No,
one city.
Washington State.
Oh, Washington.
No, I think it's Seattle. Is it? I think it's
It's
Seattle.
Seattle.
When you said Washington, I'm thinking they would make.
No,
Okay,
no,
so
no,
the state of Washington,
No, Seattle.
they're
Just Seattle.
Seattle.
the city.
The city of Seattle
Then
passed
they're,
last night.
They're saying get the fuck out of our city.
And they're saying it to Amazon and Starbucks.
Those fucking
Twitter,
assholes.
Because they're about the old, there's
Those
only like 4
assholes.
companies they qualify.
How many employees
Those
are there?
there.
Now, is it the employees only domiciled in that jurisdiction?
Working for the company in that city.
In that jurisdiction? Well, there's not that many. Compared to how many
It's
they
to
have.
the tune of $42 million a year.
No, but Mark, how many people could they actually have in it?
Well,
Come on.
It's $42 million a year divided by $2.75.
Oh, it can't be.
275, 275.
Yeah, 270.
No, they can't have that many people working in one city.
$48 million.
Yeah, so 48 million divided.
Hold on.
And then you know what they're going to spend?
Divided by how much?
Here's what they're going to do.
75.
Here's what they're going to do with the money. They're going to clean up the homeless problem they created.
They have 175,000 people.
No, that's all the companies that are going to get hit by this in Seattle.
Okay.
So it's Twitter, it's Starbucks.
Those are all people
gotta
that
give
work
them
in
credit.
Seattle.
You got to give them credit for what they're doing.
Give who credit?
Seattle, I mean, as far as wanting.
Well, yeah, but all these big companies are going to move.
But
It sounds really
what's
gonna
the
fucking
impact
go
though
bye-bye.
of one company? Would it be worth it to move? I'm trying to figure who's the biggest employer with
Amazon.
But they have to be in that city.
Amazon.
How many in that
That's
city?
their headquarters.
But how many people in that city?
A fucking shitload.
I wonder how
Divide
many.
a fucking shitload by 275.
So let's say they have.
Let me see, Amazon
No,
might be
seriously, I don't know how many people literally in that city they would have. Because they
Let
could
me look.
easily just
Amazon
send the
was the
people
biggest.
elsewhere
I know,
and still
Amazon.
keep their stuff there.
Exactly.
And there's all kinds of ways to get around it.
Right. But it's 275 a year. It was originally 550 a year, and then they cut it back.
But are you asking how many employees, Mark? That's what I want.
In Seattle.
Yeah.
Let me look.
So here,
40,000
Are you shitting me?
in Seattle.
40,000 times
275.
275. That's 11 million a year. Is that worth moving?
Theirs is 20 million though. They think it's going to.
No,
Oh,
it's
that's
not
because
worth-
they cut it from 5.
It's not worth moving. To move the equipment on and the what
No,
the
no,
building
no.
alone.
This is Amazon. There's no warehouses there. This is their corporate office. This is just.
I would
can't
cost
believe
them
they
more
have
than
that many
$11 million to move.
That's
all
only
those
1
people.
year. How about over a 10-year period?
God almighty. 5
plus
years.
it's expensive there. You know, that's
And what happens when they decide to do it again next year because they squander
That's
all the money?
55 million in 5 years. They'll, come on, it can't cost.
and it's for 10 years.
If they get U-Hauls and shit, they can move cheap.
Fuck yeah. Craigslist.
But you know,
All
it's all for the
working
homeless.
on Saturday.
It's for it's just like new.
They're going to put all the money towards homeless. Cleaning up all the needles of feces and the other
not
shit.
needles. It's for low-cost housing.
That'll go over.
Every homeless person in the country.
So
is
next,
there.
yeah, the
Low
low-cost
San Francisco.
You know what they called them back in the 60s? The fucking projects.
Yeah.
And look at them now. They're run-down pieces of shit because no one takes care of them.
Did you hear this about Boulder? Boulder was giving bus tickets for their homeless to different cities.
I'd fly to Hawaii. You know how hard it is to get a ticket back?
Oh, good idea.
I want to say
You'd send them to the Big Island too, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Send them to Maui at least.
No, because the volcano's going off on this one.
They're getting more land.
I don't know if you looked at this, Mark, but the the Troubleshooter website now is really good looking. It's going to be good when we
Did you hear what
I'm ready to
Denver
put some real
helped
stuff
speed up
on.
their low-cost housing?
Oh my God!
So they were supposed to.
You can sell it. You could buy it low cost and then turn around and sell it for full fucking price.
So you've got people living in them
that
that would
can't
never
qualify.
qualify.
Exactly. Because they didn't record and stuff. They totally screwed it up. They spent millions and millions and millions of dollars. Stapleton and that other place too.
It is pretty bad. Now I've seen the other side to it though. This guy was going to close on a Lennar home in Parker. Right before closing, he found out that everything across the street and next to him was going to be low cost. So he wanted out, thinking this is fucking bullshit. I'll never be able to sell mine.
Ross's account,
And they didn't let him out.
He has the remember staff. I can log in as Ross right now.
Who wouldn't let him out?
That's why I fucking delete everything.
Jesus God.
Who wouldn't let him out?
Lennar wouldn't let him out of the contract, so they kept his earnest money. It's like fucking 8-10 grand.
I'd say he got a good deal.
Yeah.
Out of it.
Oh, he would have never been. He would have been the only guy paying that much.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem
Yes.
with low cost is the homes around him.
Right.
And these are homes, so generally those people are going to take care of their homes, you would think.
Right.
But when they start talking like they are, low cost, they're talking the projects, dude. They don't take care of shit. They're homeless. How do you take a guy that's been homeless for 2 years and put him in a home and think he's going to take care of the fucking home?
And I know we should think better of that, but you're exactly right. That's exactly what happens. They don't.
Well, how would
For the
you?
most part.
No one ever
Not
taught
everybody,
him. No
but
one
for the
ever
most part.
taught him to do any of that
You
stuff.
got to be taught that. You got to be taught not to shit on the ceiling.
My neighbors got so mad when I moved the couches out.
We had one yesterday. They threw shit on the ceiling.
Sir Isaac Newton would not get that at all. Just would not get it. How that would happen.
Well, shit hits the fan.
Shit hits the fan. Literally. They threw shit in my fan.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter this hour, brought to you by Pro Auto Care. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere where we are solving problems, answering questions, taking complaints, and making your life just a little easier. We're talking trust, probates, wills, and estates today with Mr. David Salisbury, attorney at law. He is one of our most popular guests when it comes to the after effect. People saying, who is that guy? How do I find him? Just look for David Salisbury, just like it sounds, S-A-L-S-B-U-R-Y, David Salisbury. Search him on referralist.com. Also, you can call him at 720-493-3911. Welcome to the show, and as I said this hour, brought to you by Pro Auto Care. I call him your car nanny. What does it mean? Well, first of all, they will do all the reminders like your dad used to do or your brother about getting your oil changed, getting your filter changed, you know, your timing, whatever, tune-ups. I don't know what cars need in between, you know, whatever they need. And, you know, for those 30,000-mile checks and those 60,000-mile checks, the big ones, you can go to them. You don't have to go to a dealer because they're faster, better, and cheaper than dealers at 303 Pro Auto. 2 locations near Evans and I-25, near Bowles and Santa Fe, 303 Pro Auto, and the website 303proauto.com. So yes.
I am so irritated by this Seattle deal. Have you seen this?
Now, we're talking about, now this is definitely a consumer,
it's huge.
Consumer issue. Head taxes. Okay, really, a head tax is nothing more than saying, you know what, we want money. So therefore, we just arbitrarily, we're going to sock. Now, this is targeted because they didn't just make it a general business tax. They made it only for those making a certain amount of money and over.
Yeah, 20 million plus a year.
They literally targeted companies making $20 million or more. Now, I know a lot of people say, oh, the rich should pay more and all this crap. I don't even want to hear it because it's just not fair. They're taking companies and saying, okay, now you have to pay $500 per employee per year, or excuse me,
$275.
It was $500. They reduced it. They approved it at $275. So,
and Amazon's got 40,000 employees in Seattle,
which amounts to $11 million a year they have to pay.
I'd pack up and move.
So think about that. That is just a target.
For 10 years, do the math. 100 and what? What is that, $111 million?
Well, why is it that government looks at people and companies that achieve and feel they should take it? Now, the argument is...
This is socialism.
No, but here's the argument. I'll tell you the other side. They say it's the government that afforded them the opportunity. Our business climate, being in America, afforded them this opportunity. Therefore, why not pay? Because it's for the good of the whole.
Shouldn't everybody have to pay then? How do you? What's your argument for only 3% of the companies there have to pay it because they make over $20 million?
But here's another issue. I have never, ever not wanted to help anyone. I just don't trust the government. Just because the government gets more money doesn't mean they're going to help more people. They don't. I wish they did.
They never do.
In fact, I love social programs. I just don't like the way they're run.
Name one that works.
No, they don't, but I wish they did. I love the idea of food stamps. Are you kidding me? Who would want a single mom and children not to be able to have great meals at reduced prices? But what happens, the way the system is run now, it's wrought with corruption, and who would not want to?
Or you get people used to the free meal and they never want to work, Tom. That's the other side to that.
Well, yeah, that's the whole other argument, but I'm talking about the actual programs in place. If we just did them more efficiently and did them well and did them the right way, I don't think there's one person who doesn't want to truly help another who is truly in need, is there? If someone is truly in need, who does not want to help them? You know, when I see a guy out with a sign, why do I not want to help him? Not because I don't like him, because I don't trust him. I think he's going to go buy drugs. But if I find someone... We had one time this woman stands out to me because she was near on the 16th Street Mall, near a place, and you know what she asked? She said, "Could you buy me a cheeseburger?" I didn't even hesitate. Are you kidding me? More than you. What do you want to eat? If you see someone eat, your heart is filled with joy because you know you're helping someone. It's those people it's always been a trust thing, I think, with me. It's not whether you want to help.
Okay, how about the ones holding the sign up, "We'll work for beer"? Do you trust them? I don't think they're lying. Are you going to give them money? I'm being serious.
No, they think that's...
The trust factor's there.
No, not at all. They think that's clever when they say, "Oh, why lie? I want a beer." Okay, then go get a beer somewhere else, you know. But, you know, the guy that walks up to me, I'm at the gas station. No, I wasn't at a gas station.
No, I know what you're going to say.
He said,
"I'm stuck.
I have a gas can." He says, "My family's around the corner or 2 blocks away. I just needed $5. I want to get some gas so we can get on our way." And I say, "Well, let me take you to the car and I'll buy the gas for you and take you there." You know? No, man. And I said, "Okay, but if your family's stuck, let me help you." Literally. And I was thinking, I was falling for it, right? Except I wouldn't give him money. And the guy said, "F you, you dirty, rotten, no good." Blah. He was so pissed. So where is the guy that had debt? I wanted to talk to him. Rico. Not Rico, but this other guy. Rico, you have a question for David. I'll take you now. What's going on, Rico?
I have my niece. She inherited a house. You know, she has a last will testament from my father.
Yes.
And the house is in Texas. She's being told she's got to go out there to make it all legal so the home could be hers, and I just didn't know if you have any...
All right, so he died... He died in Texas?
He died in California.
And he has a home in Texas he left to her?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Where is probate?
I have no idea about any of those situations, how that works.
All right. Well, probate is going to be opened in the state the house is located, David?
No, it's going to be opened if he has assets in California. They're going to have to open a probate. Excuse me?
The house is in Texas.
I understand, but he lives in California.
Right, so where's probate?
So it could be that the initial probate is going to be in California.
Then what?
Then you're going to have to go to Texas and open another probate in order to be able to transfer that property that's located in Texas.
Okay, then what does she do? Where does she go? Does she do anything?
Whoever's the executor or personal representative of his will needs to open a probate in California and then take that to Texas, have that opened as another probate in Texas, then you can transfer that property.
But does she doesn't have to be physically there.
No, it's whoever's handling the estate. Somebody's got to handle the estate.
Is she the executor or the personal representative?
She has power of attorney.
No, but was she the personal representative? Is she the one taking care of the whole thing?
Yeah, but nobody knows how to help her.
Okay, that's what it is. So, let me get this straight then, Rico. It was her uncle?
No, it was my father, her grandfather.
Her grandfather. Why didn't your father put you in charge of the estate?
Well, he didn't know how soon he was going to die. They went to go live in California with my brother for a little while, and he passed away. She came to stay with me to try and get on her feet, and she has this... Is
this a favorite niece or something?
Yeah, I think so. My father liked her, yeah.
Is she the only niece?
No, no.
I'm just wondering why he chose to leave the house to her and nothing else. I'm just wondering, or did he leave a little stuff to everyone?
No, just to her. Everybody else is doing okay.
Okay, so this niece, is that your daughter?
No.
Okay, because it's your father that died. And
correct.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And my brother, her dad, already passed away.
Okay,
so he was originally going to be receiving the house, but
he
died, and then my father died, and now she has the last will and testament.
I got it.
Does she live in Texas?
He was leaving the house to his son. His son died. Now the daughter got it.
And that's because there was something in his will that said if one of my kids dies, his kids get the property.
What's your niece's first name?
Sabrina.
Okay, so Sabrina now has inherited a home in Texas, and she's the one who read the will, by the way.
I've looked at it, but
I mean,
I don't know
how did she know she got a home? How did she know?
Oh, I believe her and my father, when he was alive, went somewhere in Texas and made, got the will and notarized it and what have you, and she's carrying it with her, but nobody knows what to do.
Wait a minute. Hold on. The father, where did your father live before he died? Not before he died. Where did he live? In Texas?
In Texas, yeah.
Okay, so he just went out to California temporarily.
Correct.
So if he's visiting California, wouldn't probate be in Texas?
Probate would be in Texas.
Okay, that's where
he resided. So you need to find a lawyer that's near whatever city this is who does probate.
Okay.
And
now we understand. He didn't live in California. He lived in Texas. He's going to open your daughter right now, not your daughter, I'm sorry, your niece is going to, his granddaughter is going to go to Texas and open up. That's why they said she had to be there. Technically, she doesn't. She can hire an attorney, but they're probably saying you got to go there for probate. So she needs to find, and maybe David can help her, but she needs to find a probate attorney. What city is it near?
It's near Harlingen.
Okay. Now, Sabrina's got to go and find an attorney in that area, give him the will and all the information, and does she have a death certificate?
She does, yes.
Yes.
The death certificate says California, but yes.
Yeah, I understand, but his residence was Texas. It also will say that. She needs to take the death certificate and the will and everything she has to an attorney near that city so they can, actually it doesn't have to be near that city, just in the area, to file a probate. Once the probate is opened, then the attorney will transfer the home to her and she'll own it. Does she want to live in it? What does she want to do with it?
Yeah, she does. She wants to go back there.
Okay, well that's the step. She goes and finds a probate attorney. Now, since you don't know a probate attorney from a personal injury attorney, I think David Salisbury could help her if she calls. He can probably look up in the association. Is there an association of probate attorneys?
Well, I've got some websites I can go to, and what I do is I make sure whoever I'm referring her to, I don't know them, but I refer to people that is their specialty.
Okay, so we're going to give you off the air David's number.
Okay.
And then have Sabrina call David. He'll help her find an attorney down there, okay?
Okay, thank you.
And then she needs to get an attorney to file probate down there and then take it from there. And what is the house worth?
Maybe 100.
Okay, well, that's really good for her to get started. 303-713-TALK. I just want to get a quick comment here from Bill. Bill, you have a comment on that Seattle tax?
Yeah, it was all about what Mark said about the S word and
socialism.
Yes, and that unfortunately that's the way business is going, and one has to ask oneself, why do I own a business? Am I in business for everyone? Am I in business for the local government, or am I in business for me and for my family? And the answer is, I'm in business for me and my family, and that's why I own a business and set my own prices.
Right, but you also acknowledge, and again, I'm agreeing with you, but you also acknowledge as citizens, both corporate citizens and individuals, we do owe a debt to the government of some kind.
Pay your taxes.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But you don't like these individualized stick-it-to-you taxes, is what you're saying.
Absolutely not.
Right. We have more coming up. There's a lot to talk about on the Troubleshooter Show. Frank Duran, the real estate man, if you need a realtor, if you need someone of quality, someone who is dignified, someone who is ethical, someone who can get down and dirty when he needs to negotiate, to find the deals, and to help you get your house sold, either one, buying or selling, Frank Duran, therealestateman.com.
This report is brought to you by Lifeline.
Right now, no. SavingMyWay.com.
Saving My Way, yeah.
TaxFreeSavings.com. TheSafestInvestment.com.
No, TaxFreeSavings.com. In fact,
I don't have tax-free savings. I have my tax-free savings.
Okay.
That's the one you like the most? How about you, David?
I like them. I like all three of them actually, but I still say you start to think of thinking of gambling website names, the domain names.
Well, they're already taken all of them. I think.
Well, maybe.
Oh, they're.
Tom, I have Melinda, the income
It wasn't long
organizer,
ago.
and then Tom, the caller in debt now.
That people were doing it everywhere.
And
All the
she's
poker
going to do it
sites
for
10
free
years ago
as
were
an
everywhere.
example for
And
the
then
show to
Feds
see
came in
how
and
we
shut
can
them down.
best
Yeah.
utilize her services.
What?
So-
Who? Where?
Talking about the income organizer.
Huh?
Did someone die having to do with Superman?
Yes.
Yeah, Margaret
Lois
Kidder.
Lane.
No!
Oh,
She
yeah.
died?
69.
Wasn't she Lois
Like a few
Lane?
days ago,
Yeah.
she died.
She had some sad
With
some
Christopher
real
Reeve.
mental health issues.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sad.
I wonder if we
Kinda
could put a
took her out of
Keurig up
acting.
here.
It was
Do you remember the
severe.
one where he decided because of her he was going to give up all his superpowers, and then this trucker was picking on him in the diner.
Spun around.
Oh, that's right. He went around. That's how he got it back. He spun the world around.
Yeah, because she got
No,
no
I'm talking about when he
back.
came back with his powers. He went into the diner, and that guy, he spun him around on the stool.
Yeah.
No, he went back in time by flying backwards.
Yeah, I know. He flew the world backwards, and that's how he got his powers back.
No, he did
That's
the
how
world
he got-
backwards
so she
because
would be- because
she
she
was
died.
in a car and she went off the road and
Died.
all of the gravel's going.
Yeah,
into
but how
her
does
channel.
making the world go backwards?
It's like a time.
It's
a
a
fucking time
fictional. It's a
story.
movie. So did time go back on the moon?
Are you
when he
saying-
did that?
Are you saying?
If I was on the moon and Superman went around the Earth backwards, spinning the Earth backwards, I on the moon, am I going back in time? I don't like this whole
Only
premise.
if you do the time warp from.
Only if I spin on my head backwards.
Yeah.
If you're in the Twilight Zone, yes.
I like when those guys, Superman 2, when those guys come down from not Krypton. They were in those mirrors and they're floating around in space forever, and then they break the mirrors and they get free. You weren't a Superman guy, were you? Oh, I love those.
I
original
love Superman. I had a friend that we went to the National Western one year, and this is after he had the accident, Christopher Reeves. We're walking to the stalls with the horses, and he looks at one and goes, Christopher Reeves. And his wife was with us, and she just was not happy. And I turned around, I was hungry.
Isn't that crazy though? Superman was paralyzed.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. Yeah, it was.
It's not one or more.
The original Superman was gay. The black and white.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. And One Clear Choice Garage Doors is simply the best choice for your garage door with any maintenance, any issue, anything at all to do with your garage doors. You won't do better than One Clear Choice. It is your One Clear Choice. And for doors themselves or the openers, it's One Clear Choice Garage Doors. They have openers starting at just $333. 303-565-6409. OneClearChoiceDoors.com. You know, it's my contention that people remember websites better than phone numbers, and I think advertisers should stop using phone numbers. Unless you're going to do like first 5 callers, but even then, like One Clear Choice Garage Doors, okay? You can say that, but do you remember the phone number I just gave you? No. And I think people should just start using websites. I think I'm going to try to get my clients to do that. Just websites.
How about 303 Pro Auto?
You know, that's easy, because that is the website, 2303proauto.com, but I don't know, I just think that's easier. Okay, you know, Tom called earlier, and he said, I got into debt, I went bankrupt about 6 years ago or whatever, or I can't go bankrupt again, and I'm really in debt again, and, you know, and he didn't call to get beat up, by the way, but he says, you know, he just wanted me to know bankruptcy wasn't an option. And what do? I'm getting in debt again. What is your debt situation? The reason I got you back on the line, Tom, is because somebody called from the referral list and said, Tom, I think I can help him. And she does have a weird service. I love it. And I say weird in a good way. No, it is. It's something people don't fully understand. And I love what she does. So, Tom, how much debt are you in?
Probably 10,000, not including student loans, which are not due yet. But
okay.
10,000 to collection companies.
All right, 10,000 to companies. Is that total debt other than student loan? 10,000.
Yes.
That includes a car?
Yes.
How much do you make?
I make roughly 35 to 36,000 a year.
Okay. Now.
And then I do a part-time gig, and I can make
good
about 4,000 maybe extra a year.
Okay. How old are you?
49.
And you say student loan debts aren't due yet. Are you still in school?
Yes.
What are you studying?
Computer, well, it's a long title. Management, information management technologies with a business management.
How much are your student loans when they do come due? How much are they? How much total?
It'll end up being about 70.
70,000. Okay.
Yeah.
You're really hoping to get some high-end paying jobs, right, in the end?
Well, yeah, and I'm hoping to get out of debt where I'm clean.
No, I understand that, but what is your goal career? Your career goal? You want to be in IT.
Computer industry, IT.
Are you taking to it? Are you pretty good at it?
I think so. I've been doing it since I had a TI 449A.
When are you going to be? When are you going to be out of school?
Another year and a half, maybe.
And what are you going to be trained to do? Just take care of networks and stuff like that?
Correct.
All right. There's a real need.
I can also work on hardware.
Good.
Build computers.
There's a real need for that. But God Almighty, $70,000 for an education. I mean, by the way, that's not a lot when it comes to college. I mean, it's not unheard of to spend $70,000 to $80,000 a year for college. Seriously. I mean, it's becoming
a bad decision on college I picked at first. It was a bad decision because I paid too much instead of going to a state college.
Okay, now hold on. Let's talk to Melinda. Now, Melinda Mackey is on the referral list. The way you would find her is called the Income Organizer. I don't know where we have her categorized in the website. We may have to make a whole category for her. Do you know where we have her in credit?
I probably have certain keywords.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Melinda, as I said, in a good way, she does a weird service. Melinda, if you had to explain, and you do, you have a huge radio audience right now. Explain what you do.
Hi, Tom. I teach people how to stop the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. We were not taught how to do this. Probably 80% of Americans don't know how to manage their money, and they keep thinking that making more money will fix it, and it doesn't. And my husband and I had our own issues for 25 years. We lived that way, paycheck to paycheck. We finally stopped about 11 plus years ago, and our life is so much better. We don't stress over money on a daily basis anymore, and we actually make less money than we had in the past, and we do just fine because we plan our income before we get it.
Now, is it safe to say, Melinda, that you make efficient use of money?
Yes, that's the key.
Okay, and you're organized, but for those who were listening to you, and they were rolling their eyes saying, oh, my God, it's just budgeting. It's way more than budgeting.
Yes, it is. That's part of it. But there are people that want to be able to retire someday, and the only way to be able to do that with a normal income is to lay the foundation, and that would be to get on a budget. That would be your first thing.
But there's more to it than just budgeting.
Right. But that's the start. You can't really do a whole lot of the other until you get the budget down and get organized and plan your income ahead, and then you will have extra money to be able to invest so that when you do want to retire, you'll have the money there.
Is an example like quit drinking Starbucks coffee and buy a bag or a thing of coffee at the grocery store? I mean, is it that simple? Is that what you're pitching?
That would be a way to do it. I don't cut out all the fun. I don't suggest cutting out everything or you won't do it.
See, I think that's the hardest part of what she does. Some people want that Starbucks no matter what the hell in the world.
Yeah. Now, here's the deal, okay?
So how do you get through to someone? How do you convince someone not to do that?
It's not just that. But I think I heard her say she doesn't cut out everything because people won't do it.
Right.
But actually, I would. If my life depended on it, I would. I mean, I don't care. I want to be successful. But let's talk about Tom now, okay? I know that when you were listening to him, and he said, I'm $10,000 in debt, and I make about 30-something, I know a light bulb went on in your head, and you went, wow, I can work with that, because you probably automatically know he's doing a lot of things wrong.
Yes, and he's doing some things right, too. And if he's making it right now on that type of income, the key that caught my ear was that he said, I'm willing to work extra and with this side gig so that he can bring in even more money. What I do when someone is willing to do something like that, I make that money that's extra even more meaningful.
Right.
So we straighten out the original income, and then anything that comes in extra, we're able to organize that so that it is making a difference in his life instead of just working more hours.
Now, Tom, do you have a problem with credit cards? I mean, because, you know, there are some people who advocate getting rid of all plastic, and I am not an extremist. I believe credit cards are a very useful tool, and they are packed with consumer protection, and when used the right way, they're wonderful tools. It's just when people get balances they can't pay in a month, or balances for emergencies they can't pay more than 3 months. But, Tom, do you have a problem? Do you just put things on credit cards and worry about it later?
Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And you use a credit card more like a friend with money or extra income than you do for necessities or convenience.
Yes, I have in the past. Because I have no credit cards now except a debit card.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with debit cards for those who know how to use them, because credit was invented because people they did not have cash flow. I mean, you had a farmer who would trade his corn for something, but the corn didn't come in yet, and he says, when I get my corn, then I'm going to pay you this back. Or an emergency came up, a barn fire, and he says, look, I don't have enough for the whole barn, but I have enough for this. And credit was extended, and when credit is extended, it's meant to be paid back. And I believe credit cards are for those emergencies, because you can make a lump sum and get something fixed or fix an emergency, but you have to then make it a priority to pay it back. Also, it's for convenience. But let's talk now, Melinda, what would be Tom's very first step? If you were meeting with him, just give us a sample. Ask him questions. I want to see what he answers. Just as an example, if you first met him, Tom, this is Melinda. I'm the secretary. Goodbye, Melinda. What would you do, Melinda? Go ahead.
Tom, do you have all of your bills and expenses organized so you know when they're due, what they're for, and how much they're going to cost you?
Yes, I have it on an Excel spreadsheet right now.
Okay, great job. That's our first step, is to get that done. Now, do you have extra money every month to pay? Are you making the bare necessities, those bills, or are you running short on that too?
I have to double check it because some things have changed. I was making about $400 extra a month.
Okay. All right. If I were to sit down and talk to you about this and kind of go over each expense line by line, and maybe we could figure out if that's a necessity or not, would you be willing to do something like that?
Sure.
Okay. That way we can kind of figure out what your true monthly expenses are, and then those other expenses that you have, that like that coffee, that you'd like to stop and get occasionally, we can kind of work that into that based on if we've got the extra money left to be able to do that once your necessities are paid for.
I get this. I get where this is going, Melinda, and I thank you. Here's what we're going to do. Suzanne, Melinda is going to take on this case free of charge for the show. They do charge not a lot for this service. It's a wonderful service. It's very basic.
It'd be great for teenagers or college kids.
In fact, Melinda, what I'd like to do is organize a get-together. If people have people graduating, or maybe this summer for graduates before they go off to college, maybe we can have a get-together where we make the parents sign up and do something, because I think this would be good. Now, again, with something like this, it's often hard to get participation because kids are going to say, oh, my God, I don't want to hear about income. But maybe we can help you make it fun. Okay, her number, the Income Organizer. You can look for that on the referral list. Income Organizer, 303-495-0669. The Income Organizer. 303-713-TALK is our number, and we have a lot more to talk about. And talking about this, it's a natural segue to Wink and Wink, their bankruptcy attorneys that I hope you never need. And you know what? If you do something like the Income Organizer, you probably won't need a bankruptcy. And by all means, my God, if you do a bankruptcy, like Tom did, learn from it and don't fall right back into that hole. You know, Mike and Gigi Wink, they can help you rebuild your credit. They can help you through a bankruptcy. Then Melinda, the Income Organizer, can help you to stop that same old habit. Anyway, winkandwink.com, 303-410-1720.
This is Denver's Talk Station.
The guy's smart enough, I think he's a spender.
Yeah. Also, there are a lot of, I don't know if he's one, but there are a lot of posers. This gets a lot of young men in trouble, way more than women. Young posers, man, they get in trouble.
With
they
cars,
want
or
Miles has a friend that lives in his parents' basement. He's 24 or 25.
He's a poser.
This fucking kid will get a check. He works at Sprint, so if he sells some phones and gets a decent paycheck coming in, he'll buy fucking like a Gucci shirt, or he's got a fucking $800 watch. But he lives in his parents' basement. This kid, he's the nicest fucking kid too, but he's like addicted to this look that no one in his family can afford.
And no one cares.
And no one gives a shit.
Until he's on his own.
He could never be on his own. I mean, he couldn't afford an apartment.
Why do you want to attract women who all they're looking for is someone who's got
And he's always
money
got to drive
what
like
can you
an
do
Audi.
for me? What can you do for me? What restaurant can you take me to? You're going to take me to Elway's this afternoon?
Depends what she looks like. Is she hot? Is she hot? What are we talking here?
Well, I got confused.
Let's get real.
I got confused with the head tax thing too.
They charge that to hookers in Nevada.
Yeah, that's right. It's a different head.
It's a different head tax. What do you think? Okay, that made me think of something.
I'm scared.
Prostitution in general, it's only legal, I think, in places in Nevada.
Certain places.
In this country.
Yeah.
Is there anything wrong with that? Should it be illegal?
What's that? Oh.
Prostitution.
No.
I just don't understand if someone wants to do that, why that's a problem.
Because they say they're using people.
Yeah, but wouldn't that get rid of the whole sex, what do you call it, the whole sex slave trafficking thing? Just like drugs, when they made marijuana legal, people, you know, it puts the drug dealers out of business. Wouldn't it put the traffickers out of business?
If you required them to, like they do in Amsterdam,
like register.
And you've got a place that you go to. So
Yeah,
the government can regulate
what was
so
you were there? The red light district.
So you don't have pimps. That eliminates the pimps.
I've seen movies. It does. Seriously, it gets rid of the pimps that beat the girls, take all their money. That's my whole point, though. I don't understand why the morality.
You're not going to get rid of it.
What do you think, Tom?
Extra 10% off your first.
Okay, should it be legal or not? You know what? I don't care. I don't like a lot of regulation on anything, but at the same time, I'm wondering if it would encourage people who may have another option, not maybe to take that easy way because it is legal. A young woman who otherwise, if she
It might not be that easy with all that competition, though. At that
if
point.
she pushed herself, maybe could do something else.
That's true.
But
Same with men, though. It's not just women.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's call it Ben Kaplis and get his opinion.
I don't know, man. That is, God, that's a hard question.
Have you ever heard him on the marijuana thing?
I think the same thing about drugs sometimes.
Is he against it?
Oh, jeez, yeah. But I mean, he's had no benefit whatsoever and stuff. And have you ever listened to him?
No.
That guy, Dan Kaplis.
I'd like to listen to his wife. You ever seen? She used to be on CBS
she
News.
did?
What is her name?
Amy Spore.
Amy Spore.
Nice woman.
Very attractive.
I know.
You remember Natalie Peugeot, is that right?
Yeah, that was. She was only here for a very short time. Very short time.
God, I do. I wonder if she ever made it. Did she ever make it? In the news world, is Denver a stepping stone?
No, it's a pretty good final resting place. It's a good market. It's in the top 25, and top 25 is considered good for your career. But it's
like Colorado Springs, I know. KRDO, that's a stepping stone.
Of course it is.
Those people are there like
there's something you call feeder markets. So if you work in like San Diego, it's a feeder for LA. Or Fresno. There's different feeders for San Francisco.
Franktown is a feeder for
Denver.
Elizabeth.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, goldenorchard.com. If you look at Golden Orchard, you're going to want that for your loved one if you're looking for assisted living. You know, it's so much cheaper than these other nursing homes and nursing home places. And for one price, you get everything. You get everything. It's between like $4 and $5 grand, all the snacks, the outings, the large landscape yards, beautiful spacious bathrooms, patios. They have some homes that do Alzheimer's, dementia, and memory care. You also can have a pet in some cases. You can go in as a couple, use your own furniture or use theirs. GoldenOrchard.com in the Denver area. Okay, so David, welcome. What's going on with you, David?
Hi, Tom.
Hi, David.
I just wanted to mention to David Salisbury.
Yeah.
I'm a client of his. I went in to see him a year ago. David, I don't know if you remember me, my wife Cheryl. He's redid our wills, our trust. David, you sent me an email. I had some trouble with the beneficiary deed, and he sent me a great email about that. And I just wanted to thank him and let your listeners know he is a terrific attorney and a guy. I mean, he's best thing since canned beer, in my opinion.
Okay,
David, that's very nice.
That is, thank you very much for
From one
calling.
David to another, thank you.
It's very nice to hear that.
Oh, it's wonderful to hear.
Glenn, what's going on with you, man? What's happening?
Hey, how's it going, Tom? I'm actually calling because a couple weeks ago, my girlfriend was in a car accident.
Okay.
The driver was driving for Colorado Landscaping, Inc.
Mm-hmm.
The driver
she was driving?
She was stopped in a turn lane when this happened.
And then the other landscape company hit her.
Correct.
Okay.
He clipped the front of her car with his trailer, totally tore the front of her car off.
I got you, man. Then
she is insured. He was not insured for himself, and the company was not insuring him either, and he had a suspended license. And one of the things that really jumped out at me about this is when you go to their website, they say all their employees have been with them for many years, 8+ years, stuff like that. So my first thing was, you know, how long have they been letting them drive around uninsured? And secondly,
but about today, what we're calling about today, to get very specific, you are calling because she got in an accident, and I'm assuming you can't get them to pay.
Correct.
Why?
They have no insurance.
I mean, this is a landscape company. Do they have no insurance at all?
That's what he's saying.
I don't know if their business
was this his own. Was this his own company?
They had no auto insurance.
Was this his own vehicle,
Correct.
Glenn?
As far as I know, it was a company vehicle. I have not seen the vehicle myself, but the police report says it was a company vehicle.
Does she have insurance?
She does, yes.
Does she have collision coverage?
She does, yes.
Well, then that's what she does, and
you just turn it over to your own.
Yeah, and then her insurance would go after them. That's the easiest way to do it. And then but if are you calling maybe not for that reason to tell, you know that. You're calling because you want us to look into this landscape company. What's the name of it?
Colorado Landscaping, Inc.
Yeah, I'm looking at their website.
Are they pretty big, Mark?
No.
Okay.
They don't seem to be super big. They only have a handful of reviews around.
Do you know who the owner is?
I had his name.
I mean, I can't believe, though, that he would not have just a basic, like, insurance, for goodness sakes. If they don't even have insurance on their vehicles, who would want to hire these people?
It might have been the employee's vehicle. Who knows?
The owner's name is Mr. Giuseppe. I do not have his first name.
You know, your insurance company will try to subrogate and go after these guys if they own that vehicle.
That's what's going on now. They are going to go after them, but
is she injured?
She did not get injured, as far as we know.
Okay, Glenn.
She doesn't have whiplash or anything like that.
Was the car marked, like, for the landscaping company?
I wasn't there, but she said that she knew it was a landscaping truck, so I am assuming it was.
You know what? We should call this company. I mean, this is, Dan, maybe we can put in a quick call. This is ridiculous. If they have vehicles on the road with no insurance and they're in business, I mean, this is, I call this outrageous. I mean, seriously. They're in
I agree
business.
with you, and I'm sorry I don't have all the information you need.
Yeah, but
my girlfriend just got from the insurance today.
You do have her
saying
first
that,
and last name, right? I mean, you know her. So, hey, Dan, I'm talking to Dan in the back. Can you hear me now, Dan? Okay. Talk to him and get her full name and the date so you can reference it. But flat out ask them if they have insurance or not. We have a couple lines open. You can get right through. 303-713-TALK. Bob's got a question for David Salisbury, attorney at law. Hi, Bob. What's happening?
Dave, I just got a question. My ex-in-laws had a substantial estate. They had a revocable trust. The trustees were my ex-sister-in-law and my ex-mother-in-law. He passed away in 2016. She passed away about a year ago. Talking to one of my daughters. They were supposed to get a payout from the trust. And they said, well, Mom told us not to worry about it. We don't get the money now, but we'll get it when she dies. And she's a trustee now also. So what I'm wondering is it possible that they were, are they still protected, or are they just somehow, they'll get money when she dies, but if she decides to give it away to somebody else, have they been disinherited?
So the trust was the father's trust?
It was a trust it was a marital trust.
So David, how do you think it's set up?
What I think is going on is once he died, she kept getting the benefit of all the income and the principal,
but that's
and
not
she became
unheard
a
of.
Trustee. But it may be that she has the right to either change the document, and it also may be that she can get it at the principal anytime she wants, which means she could spend it all during her lifetime.
But that's not, like, let's say, wrong necessarily.
No, there's nothing wrong. That's pretty typical.
He may have attended that.
That is a typical way to do it. You want to take care of your spouse.
Yeah, for example, Bob, what did you think? I mean, when the father dies, the wife is left out in the cold, or what were you thinking?
No.
I'm asking. I don't.
The spouse passed away also. So now the trust is being put into place. The two... trying to think how to explain this. The trustees, my ex-wife is suddenly now a trustee, and she wasn't before. And the idea is that, instead of the girls getting their money now, the way it was originally set up, now they're going to get it from their mother when she passes away.
Well, that's not unusual either. It's not unusual if one of the spouses dies, the trust stays in place for the surviving spouse, and then it goes, once the surviving spouse dies, it stays in trust for their children, including your ex-wife. So, and her being trustee is not unusual either. It's all about the...
She was added as a trustee.
Right.
And the way the trust was originally split up when it was supposed to be executed is that my ex-sister-in-law got half. Then the other half went in quarters to my 3 children and my ex-wife. And now...
Why do you even care? I'm curious there.
Well,
no, it's his kids.
Because I'm trying to protect my children.
Yeah, but when that person passes away, they would get whatever's there, right?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the survivors live on it until they're gone, and that there may not be anything left, but that is common.
When my grandfather died, he had a trust. It went for the benefit of my grandmother. She died. It's now still in place for my mother and my uncle. So it's not an unusual thing.
Now, since your wife is part of this, she has a copy of it, right?
My ex-wife, yeah.
Okay, so get the copy of the trust and let David look at it.
I'll take a look at it for you.
Yeah, this is what you do. You have trust reviewed. A lot of people say, well, my father just married this woman 2 years ago, and they have a big trust, and he died, and she got the trust, but it's supposed to be for the kids, but that's after she dies, and they're upset that she's living on it. But she's allowed to under that circumstance. It depends on the trust. So David can look at that trust. Anyone who wants a trust reviewed, he can look at it. Of course, you know, he charges for a review and have it done.
What I like about David is he'll tell you exactly what he's going to charge you, and that's it.
Right. All right, I got to take this quick break. Then I'm going to talk to Lori about a neighbor tearing a fence down, and then Brian's got some medical expenses in a county jail, or he wants to talk about it. And, of course, another landscaping complaint. Mark, this is the season for those sleazy landscapers.
This report is brought to you by...
So with the exception of fraud, is there any way to change an irrevocable trust? With the exception of fraud setting up. Yeah, irrevocable.
There can, I mean, the answer is no. In general, there is.
But what you said in general, what would be?
Well, what I'm saying is there are certain things that may be able to be changed, like trustee. You might have a provision in there that all the adult beneficiaries can get together and name a new trustee, but there's always criteria. It's not going to be your best buddy. It's going to be a bank or something. But other than that, that's what makes it irrevocable.
I mean, if someone left their wife in irrevocable trust and then they got divorced, doesn't matter, it's still going to be hers. Or vice versa, a husband.
Well, I think the answer is that.
Unless that's in the will or in the trust.
Spouse.
Oh, so if they're no longer a spouse. But if they listed him as an individual, of course.
Then they're stuck.
So if I want to leave everything to Dan, and just cut Suzanne out of this whole thing.
Could you make that irrevocable?
I just wonder if people go, okay, here's what I'm going to do for you while everything's fine and dandy. So they set them up in irrevocable trust. They have a falling out, and somehow they have a way to get rid of it.
Doesn't happen very often.
But why shouldn't attorney lay that out? I mean, they should.
When people say they want an irrevocable trust, I say, why? Don't do it. Why? Here's your problem. Boom, boom, boom.
There could be some reasons for it.
Well, if you want to get rid of the assets to get yourself ready for Medicaid, then you could put them in an irrevocable trust for someone other than you.
Or if you're the Gates or Rockefellers, I mean, can you actually set up a trust for people that aren't born yet?
Yeah.
Can I say I want my great-great-great-grandchildren to have this much?
The problem is there is I won't go into this, but for example, a trust cannot last but so many years under, and each state has a different law about that.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. But the answer is, I mean, you could. But if they're not living at the time, it will be difficult to do. But if you left it to your kids or you left it to your grandchildren with the provision that when that grandchild dies, it goes to their children.
Yeah, but I'm
saying
so everybody else doesn't spend it. This child that's never been born will definitely have something.
Well, I mean, you could put provisions that limit the ability of a beneficiary
so it has
to use
to
up the money.
In there.
Yeah. I hope Suzanne's listening to this. Wait till you roll over in the bed tonight.
you want descendants to remember you way down the line. Man, I remember.
Isn't that kind of cool? Thanks to great-great-grandfather Mark Major, I got $8 today on my 18th birthday.
And you also would require some form of shrine in their home.
And then they pray to you every night.
With an eternal life, so that, you know.
And if the candle goes out, no money for you.
So is your $8.
$8, that would be great. I want to have a video, Will, where I do leave some asshole, some cousin I hate, fucking $8. And to Suzanne's brother.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Lori, tell me about your neighbor and what happened.
Well, Tom, I have a cul-de-sac that my yard backs to, so we actually back to two different neighbors' yards. And the fence in our yard faced inside our yard, so in my knowledge of this, that means we owned the fence. We were the one who put it up.
You put it up how long ago?
Well, it was here when we bought the house, so it was put up by the prior homeowner.
Okay.
But the neighbor to the corner of the cul-de-sac, which backs about 7 or 8 feet of our yard, tore our fence down and put up a brand new fence facing them, leaving us with a crappy-looking corner
Wait a minute.
of our yard.
They just, first of all, do the fences have setback requirements? Usually setback requirements do away with these little tips because they have to go 3 feet inside their line, you go 3 feet inside your line, and therefore there's a 6-foot swath. But you're telling me it's right on the property line.
Correct. It's right on the property line.
Well, what do the covenants? Are you in a covenant control community?
No, we are not.
Okay,
Nope.
What do the codes say about fences? I have never heard of a code allowing fences on 0 property line. Not one time.
Okay.
So, do you know what the code says?
I don't know. We'll have to go look at that.
You both might be wrong. That they do that specifically to keep this from happening. The setback requirement allows each one to have a fence of their own choosing facing the way they want it to.
Yard. Right.
But I can't believe that an existing fence of how old was it? The existing fence that she
it's probably 20 years, but it's still serviceable and in good shape.
and she just tore it down and put up another one.
Yep, and in the process of doing that, where it connects to the next panel or next row of fencing in my yard is now loose, and they split the boards halfway down the middle.
Who put the fence up to begin with? I think I missed that.
She did. Lori.
The fence in our yard was existing here when we purchased the home. It's the homeowner behind us who was putting up a new fence in their yard, and they've now turned it so we see the back.
No,
of
I
their
understand
fence.
that, but who owns that fence? Did you?
The one that got torn down. Who paid for it?
Yeah, the people.
It was here when we paid for it when we bought this house.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't, because you paid for your house. Did it say it included the fence?
Well, no, I guess it didn't.
Lori, you can't assume that because it was owned by whoever put it up, and no one owns it now. I mean, so they really didn't do anything wrong. If they could have owned it, for all you know, that party could have owned that part of that fence, or at the very least, they assumed they did. Just like you assumed you owned it. But just assuming that does not work. That's why I say, first of all, the setback requirements, because if it's not set back, you have the code enforcement. You tell them, listen, I want that torn down.
Well, and her fix is exactly this. She goes up and puts up her own fence, and then she won't have to look at that fence.
Right, you can put up a fence, but she already had one. She said, why'd they tear it down? But Lori,
because it was probably theirs.
I don't think it was any more part yours than theirs unless you have a document proving it. The fact that you buy a house with a fence on the 0 property line does not make it yours. What would make it yours is if it was on your property.
Did they ever ask you, would you like to chip in on a new fence?
Nope, they didn't do anything. They just
Did you talk to them? Did you ask them why they did it?
We're about to. This has all happened just yesterday.
Here's how I would do it.
Here it is.
Here's how I would do it. Hey, Mr. Neighbor. No, I'm serious. I am confused because when I bought this house, this fence was already there. And I assumed that it came with my property, and I'm wondering why you tore it down. But did you think it was with your property? Let's try to figure this out, because you don't know, Lori. You're assuming it was yours, and he tore it down without permission. And that's simply not true. It isn't. It's just simply not true. It's suspected, but it hasn't been deemed true. I would check setbacks. I would check with the neighbor and your deed and your survey. Brian, what's going on with you?
Hi, Tom. I just had a quick question in reference to if you're the ward of the county and you're in need of medical attention, is the county responsible for providing you and paying for that medical?
I don't know. I know in emergencies they provide it for you, and they do provide it, but I think you have to reimburse. I think. I'm not sure. David, do you know? I don't know.
I have no idea.
It's probably different in each county.
I don't know. I mean, I imagine this may have been fought in court, and there might be a precedent that you would have to look up. But Brian, I don't know. It might be a law too, as Mark says. It might be different laws. How much were the medical expenses?
It was actually from my girlfriend, and she accrued a bill of over like $2,000.
Did they try to collect it from her?
They're trying to collect it from her. The company has now tried to take her to court.
You hold on. Well, let's get this back on, Suzanne, and we will re-examine this. I'm Tom Martino.
Stop getting ripped off
I
by...
don't think the county's responsible at all.
This here, this paper here,
This paper here.
Okay, what do you think on
What do
that?
you think on here?
I think they got a good deal. I'll send them an email and stuff.
See the whining I listen to here.
I hear you. I'm picking up. You see, I'm picking up your bad. And look, they had.
Don't even say it. We're still on. Don't even say anything.
It's not bad. It's normal.
I was trying to do that.
Have a good rest of the week.
You did.
Nice to see you.
We'll catch up.
Okay.
I've been trying to tell. I got to get our damn trust together, man. I'm horrible at it.
I have mine. I just haven't done anything.
I know. I got mine too.
Do you need my social security number or anything for that?
Yes, I do. That, your bank account PIN number, so I can transfer it in there upon death.
I'm telling you, man.
I'm going to have you sign a power of attorney too.
We're still on, so shut up.
Mark, get ready. I'm telling you, we got this message, this claim booster, and find out why so many.
What are you talking about?
This claim booster is going to fucking take off like.
Oh, I know it is.